Joe Rogan Podcast, check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
Hello, Rich.
Hello,
Good
Joe.
to see you. What's
How goes
happening?
it, friend? It's been a while.
It's been a while, man. I've been watching your exploits.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
How is that V8 Tesla?
You know what's funny? I brought you something.
Yeah?
I brought you a magazine
Oh.
based on the V8 Tesla. That's for you.
Oh, no shit.
Actually, my hotel key's in there, so just you can't take the whole thing. I need the key
Popular
back.
Mechanics.
Yes, front cover.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did Tesla reach out? Well, are they still at odds with you?
You know what's funny? I don't even know if they don't really care about me.
They don't? But they did for a while, right?
I think, you know what, they would watch me in silence and just cautiously observe what I do, pretty much.
We should just tell everybody why. You were one of the very first guys that...
That's yours. That's yours.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
One of the very first guys that started working on electric vehicles,
Right.
on Teslas, and as an unauthorized repair person.
Correct, yes.
And then you would also buy scrap Teslas and piece them together
Right.
at an incredible savings.
Yes, exactly.
And make a fucking awesome car.
Right, but they didn't really like that much because that really didn't fall in line with their policy on just buying a new damn car.
Right.
You know, like don't hobble together 6 different cars. Just buy one good car from us.
How could they not see that that's cool? That you're doing. First of all, it's green,
Yes, it's very green. Yes,
right?
absolutely.
I mean,
yeah.
you're literally recycling broken Teslas, putting them back together again.
right.
And it's takes great skill to do that because
Absolutely.
I watched the videos. It's fucking complicated what you had to go through.
It's not easy, no. But I mean, that doesn't. Why should they care about green? It's just about making money at that point. I mean, if you think about this, what would I have this debate all the time? A lot of people force others into buying an electric car to say, buying an electric car will solve the world's, pollution issues. It's good for the environment.
Right.
In reality, the best thing we could do is take a look at ourselves and see what we're wasting all of our energy on. Do you really need a Tesla? A bike would probably suffice.
You could just walk.
Just walk.
Just walk everywhere.
Yeah, try walking. Like, you don't really have to get rid of your 98, Honda Civic that gets like 40 miles to the gallon to get a Tesla to pretend you're saving the environment.
You're kind of doing something because you're not contributing as much to pollution, but then you have to power that car. And
Correct.
sometimes people are powering their Tesla with coal plants.
Yes.
Which is very ironic.
It's funny. You know what? But a lot of good people. I'm not saying the ones that don't are bad, but a lot of people are also powering the Teslas with the sun. So they
Yeah.
have their Tesla, they plug it in, they have the solar panels on the roof, which is admirable.
That's great.
At the same time, these people live in 10,000 square foot homes that have to be heated and cooled. They tend to forget about this.
Yeah.
You have a 10,000 square foot house. It has to get heated and cooled. You have 5 acres of landscaped lawn, and you know what landscaping does to an ecosystem. It destroys everything in its path. So
Yeah.
no animals could survive there because of your landscaping. You have a huge house, but you have a Tesla, so it's fine.
Yeah, I watched this landscaper the other day walk around my yard spraying stuff. I'm like,
Right.
what's in that bottle?
Right.
And am I still cool walking around barefoot?
Right.
Like, what happens if that shit gets on my
Wait,
feet?
they tell you not to walk on it after they spray, don't they?
I don't know. This guy didn't tell me nothing.
Oh, geez, I would check your feet, Joe. Check your feet for sure.
Oh, no.
Yeah, probably missing a toe.
Well, I was listening to some podcast where this guy got cancer because he played golf, and he was taking the pegs out
Yeah.
and putting them in his mouth. Like, is that a common thing, Jamie?
Those are called teas, though. But yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, teeth.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Are you a golfer, Joe? I seem like a golfer.
Not a golfer.
You're not a golfer.
But yeah. Well, last time you mentioned this, I looked it up. It is a thing for sure.
So guys are getting cancer from that.
Yeah. It's like they even say don't do it because they treat golf courses with tons of stuff.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
for sure, there's fertilizer on there every morning or piss and poop. But
Yeah, but the
yeah,
fertilizer
it's the fertilizer
would scare me.
bad. Yeah.
Give you cancer.
So you got to pick your angle though. Like, what are you all about? Like, you have
Right.
I have 4 Teslas. That's great, but again, you're not contributing in other ways. So who's better than who, Joe?
Yeah, that's the
Better than
thing,
who?
right? Everyone wants to pretend they're better. And
Right.
now people are upset because Elon Musk said he would vote Republican because the Democrats have lost their
That
minds.
pissed a whole
And they're
lot of
like,
people off,
"But
Joe.
my virtue signaling
was my
by
savior.
driving your car.
My savior. Yeah, it didn't affect sales though. I'll tell you that much.
I'm sure not.
No,
They're fucking great cars.
they're absolutely great. Do you still have yours? By the
Yeah,
way?
I have a new one. I have a Plaid that
You
I
have a
drove
Plaid.
here.
How do
Yeah.
you like your Plaid,
Ooh,
by the way?
I hate the steering wheel.
Yes, the
don't
yoke thing.
like it.
Yeah,
I don't
no.
like it. I don't like the other day. A guy changed lanes right in front of me. I went to hammer the center console.
Can't do that.
The center button.
Yeah.
There's no
There's
horn
no
there.
physical horn. Yeah,
The horn is a button that's like you got to get your thumb over to it.
right.
It's totally non-intuitive. I think they've adjusted that. I think the new ones, which sucks for me. I don't know if they can retrofit the
Just buy a
steering
new
wheel.
car, Joe. That's what you want to do. Just buy a new car, Joe. What's the big deal?
That's
buy a new one.
That's annoying.
So the funny thing about Teslas is that I have an older one, and what they don't tell you is after some time the battery degrades. And I have a Model X, and I get about 213 miles of range,
That's not good.
which is not good. But at the same time, the suggestion is, well, just buy a new one. It's like, well, they're kind of expensive.
What was the new when it was brand new? What was the range?
Brand new, it was a P. It's a 90D. I think the range was about maybe in the 250s.
So it's
or
lost
so, high
some.
250s. So it's lost some.
Jamie has an X. How's yours?
I don't really charge it past 250 ever, and I never go below 60. So
Right.
I charge it every week just so that I don't have those problems.
But he has that option.
Yeah.
So what year is yours, Jamie?
2020, I think.
Oh, mine's like a 2016. I have the poverty spec one. It's a 2016.
And
So
was that the first year they came out?
First year.
Tiffany Haddish had one of those, and she was making a dance in the parking lot of the Comedy Store.
I hate that. I hate that dance so much. I hate it. I hate it, Joe. I do.
It's kind of fun.
It is kind of fun, but when I see someone, I immediately just walk away. I just for some reason I think it's so gimmicky and then I did that once to impress my kids and the door broke and I'm just like, you know what, never again.
The doors are odd. The way
Yeah.
they come up, it's just like so Lamborghini-esque.
Right. It looks cool though. It's
Yeah.
a great party trick. When I get my kids from school and they just go ape shit for it. The kids love it.
I have friends who love Ferraris but would never buy a Lamborghini. And I'm like, why? They're like, the doors, the way they open, it's just too douchey. The car's too douchey.
You know, do Lamborghinis still open like that still? I think the older Lamborghinis and the newer ones, I think they open like regular.
Oh, yeah?
Regular Audis now, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it's maybe I could be wrong. Maybe the Aventador opens up, but I think Lambos have kind of steered away from that now.
Oh, so only the Aventador has the crazy doors?
I could be wrong. I don't
Maybe.
know. Jamie, is that true or not? Can I ask Jamie stuff, or is that
Yeah,
only
yeah,
a
yeah.
you thing? Yeah.
No, you-
I feel like a jerk.
I don't know how to look that up necessarily. Scissor doors, and I'm looking like
I say Aventador
there's a company
doors.
that does it for people for
Oh,
other cars.
God.
but-
I've seen that in a Mustang. Some dude had a Mustang with the
one's the
Lamborghini
Camaro.
doors.
Yeah, they love to do that.
It's just a dumb way to do a door.
It really is.
Does your BMW have that?
Jesus, why do that? Yeah, it does actually. It does. I was hoping you would mention that. Yeah, the i8 does have that.
How
which
is that? How is that car?
I love that car, but most people hate it.
It's very narrow tires.
It's very narrow, skinny tire. I put wider tires on it to be a poser, but I have wider tires on it. But it's not a very fast car. But It's a
No?
very good-looking car.
It looks
Yes.
like it would be fast.
It looks that way, yeah. So like a common misconception is that when people think it looks fast, then they try to race me. So on the highway, I'm just cruising around like going 70 miles an hour, and then there's like this V6 Passat will pull next to me, and he'll start like revving me to engage me on, and I don't engage just in case, Joe. If this guy has something on the hood, he could take me out. So for the most part, I'm
no.
just kind of like I just cruise. I'm like, hey, have a nice day. You like my car? Thank you very much, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, the revving next to you on the highway. What an
Do you
unfortunate
get that?
thing.
Do you get that in your
Of
in your
course.
plaid? Really?
Yeah.
You ever throw the hammer down and show him who's boss?
No. It's not-
Really?
No, it's because it's boss.
Right.
You don't have to.
Right.
That car goes 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds.
Seriously.
It's a preposterously fast car.
Seriously.
Everything is awesome except the steering wheel.
Right.
Steering wheel sucks.
Well, let me ask you a question. As great as that Tesla is, right, and this is the common debate I get into all the time with Tesla owners, where are your other cars? Do you still own them? You have the Porsche still?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's from a car enthusiast perspective, as great as that car is, you can't only have that car. There are other cars that check certain boxes for you
Yeah.
that do other things that the Plaid doesn't do.
Well, I'm a big fan of the old muscle cars. I have a
the
few.
Corvette still?
Yeah, I
Okay.
have that. I have a few like 60s, 70s muscle cars. That
Right.
Those they give you the emotions. The
Yeah. The car. Yeah.
That
Which
fucking-
which car is that? That actually sounded very familiar.
know.
Okay.
my impressions of cars suck. But
Yeah.
I love the old V8 muscle cars. But it's because I was like in high school in the 80s, and
Right.
like that's what everybody wanted, and
Right.
that's imprinted in my brain. Like that's what I always wanted was
But
muscle cars.
If you think about it, they're slow.
Mm-hmm.
They're inefficient. They
Yep.
don't do anything well. They don't handle well.
Nope.
but they give you the emotion. They stick around. For that
Yeah.
you compare it to the Plaid. The Plaid wipes it
Yeah.
wipes the floor with those cars. But there's just something about it. And this is an enthusiast thing. A lot of people don't really understand this. When they buy a Tesla, they're just like, why have anything else?
Right.
And it's like, well, these cars do other things the Tesla doesn't do. The Tesla's when you think about it, they have autopilot. It has Netflix. It has a lot of things in the car to take away from the fact that it's a very mundane driving experience. Unless you're flooring it, that Plaid is just it's like a Camry.
It's very calm and smooth unless you're
Right.
flooring it, and then it's a roller coaster ride. It's
Right. It's like, ooh, holy
but it's
crap.
silent.
Right.
There's something about the driving experience. It's very comfortable. It's very
Yes.
relaxing. I love driving it to work, but it's not the same experience. It's like I have an E46 M3.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I
Nice.
love it.
Modified? Stock?
It has a supercharger.
Oh, okay.
It's got a dyno setup.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's not the fastest car in the world, but it's so connected.
It's
like,
fun.
You feel that car. You
Right.
feel the turn in, the way it handles. It's just like that car gives you emotions that
Right.
the Tesla just will not give you.
And I think people don't really understand it. But I'm glad you said that because of all the enthusiasts that I know, as great as Teslas are, they still have their gas cars.
yeah,
They still have all those.
if I had to only have one car, it
Mm-hmm.
might be the Tesla because it's like so easy to drive.
Right.
But the charging thing's a bitch. Like
Really?
if I didn't have one at my house and I didn't have one here, a charging
Yeah.
port, like if I lived in an apartment
Right.
and I couldn't get charged anywhere, like I have friends that don't have a charging thing at their house and it's
Yeah.
fucking annoying.
It's-
You got to go somewhere.
It's funny how people want Teslas so bad, they're willing to live with a lot of the inconveniences of them, for example.
Yeah.
I think they were saying on I forget what investing site it is, Tesla owners have the longest lease terms, the longest payment terms of any other manufacturer. People just want these cars so much, it's not even funny. You live in an apartment, it is tough because a lot of people are starting to petition to their apartments to say, install a charging station because I have a Tesla and I have every right to charge my car here. It's a common
Sort
thing
of.
now. Yeah,
You sort of do.
right.
Because it costs money to charge.
It costs
Like,
money to
who's
install
paying
and
for that
charge.
money? You're gonna have a pay thing? where-
They won't pay.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
want to pay.
Yeah.
They would just fucking let me charge
Just
it.
do it, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they'll leave the complex 2 months later, and then you have a
And
charger
then-
sitting there.
Yeah, and then also like you can't have a Tesla charger because then what if someone has like one of them Mustangs?
Exactly. The
And then
Mach-Es.
it
Yep.
won't really fit the charger thing.
Nope.
which is very weird.
Has to be a universal charger. I think Tesla is looking into opening it up to everyone, and I think that's
should.
that's a scary move because Tesla's leg up on everyone is the fact that they have one of the best charging infrastructures. Period.
Yeah,
Right. But when you start letting other knuckleheads in there, it's like, well, if someone doesn't like Tesla, like, oh, maybe this Mustang Mach-E isn't so bad, or maybe
Right.
the new BMW isn't so bad. So I kind of maybe it's a bold move in doing that because they're so confident that no one's going to take their seat. They're just like, hey, let's open it up for the peasants. You know what I mean?
I think it's only got to be sort of a philanthropic move or just a kindness move. It's not a good business move.
No.
Because there's cars like the Taycan. I have a friend who has a Taycan.
I love
he
those
says
things.
it's fucking incredible.
I want one so bad. I do
He
want
said
one.
the interior is so superior, and the way it handles and drives is superior.
Have you been in it? Have you
No,
s-
I haven't. I've seen one drive by. That's
Yeah.
it. Never been in one.
No, they're great cars. But that's the sad part because I have I bought my first Porsche recently, by the way.
Oh yeah, what'd you get?
A 911 Turbo.
Ooh,
Yeah.
what year?
Thank you. It's a 16.
Nice.
16 Turbo S. I love that car so much. I actually I had an Audi RS7 that I sold because that car is that great. And I'll tell you, every month that goes by, I'm probably going to keep selling cars because I love that one so much.
It's a
great
pretty
car.
amazing car.
You have a GT3?
GT3. Yeah, GT3 RS.
So you know the deal.
Sharkworks car.
You know the deal.
Yeah.
It's it does everything perfectly.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing car. And the turbo, like that year, that's a 992, right?
991.
It's a 991.
Yeah.
So that year it's pretty bulletproof.
Yeah.
Like I had a 996 turbo. It kept breaking.
Really?
Bunch of shit. Like the shift linkage broke twice.
Really?
Where I was in gear and I was shifting gear, it just went clink and just started floating
Oh, I hate
around
when that
on
happens.
2 different occasions.
Really?
Yeah. And I only had it for like 2 years. It broke a bunch of times. The fuel gauge broke
Oh, jeez.
where it just ran out of gas on the highway. Like, what the fuck?
Really? I think they made
Yeah.
a lot of improvements. I have the PDK. Mine's not I have the
Right.
one that just shifts like that. And it's been pretty good so far.
No,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, by the time it got to the 997 and the 991,
Right.
it's bulletproof.
Yeah.
The new ones are supposed to be amongst the most reliable cars you could buy.
Right. I think the new 911 Turbo lightweight, I think it's the fastest car in the world to like 30. I don't know what that means. That means much at all. But I think it's one of the few gas cars that could actually compete with the Plaid.
Yeah.
In terms of acceleration.
That's the Turbo S lightweight, right?
Turbo S lightweight, yes.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous car.
Yeah. And it's weird too. Like the Plaid's great in every way, but I would rather have the Turbo.
How come?
Is that weird to me? Because if I'm going to live with one car, I would want one that is still honestly a marvel of technology. The Plaid is too, but all that does, it takes energy from the battery and it goes to 2 electric motors.
Mm-hmm.
The Porsche, everything is tuned. The exhaust is tuned for a certain sound. The engine is tuned for a certain sound. Everything from that car is handmade just for driver pleasure. Whereas the Plaid is more like, hey, listen, there's Netflix. Look at that cool little screen. The car drives for you.
Right.
I don't want a car that could drive for you, which is why you'll see a lot of supercars don't do that. The cars that everyone achieves to be, they don't drive for you because they want you to drive them.
Right. They want you to feel it. Like a supercar wants
Right.
you to feel the car. It's like it gives you a feeling, an excitement of emotion.
Right.
But the problem with the Turbo is that sound is not as good as the sound from like the GT3.
No, it's not. But the GT was a lot of my range. That's the only thing.
The GT3 has that high revving.
Yeah, that's right.
And the shifting of the gears, the manuals, everything. It's
Right.
everything with those cars.
I think I'm getting lazy and old. I'll have the car just shift. Just do the job for me, please.
It's still pretty fun.
It's fun, but it sounds. You know how cars sound. Have you been in a Porsche with a PDK or whatever
Yeah.
shifting you have? Just the shifts are so crisp and fast.
Yeah.
You just sit there and you're just amazed by. I never get bored going through the gears in that car. Just flat footing it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It just
Do you
sounds
use
great.
the paddles ever?
I never have used the paddles.
Yeah, I
no.
never. I used to have a BMW that had paddles. I never used it.
Yeah, I just downshift, put it in sport, and the
Yeah.
car does it's such a cool car.
Well,
Love
the
it.
other thing is the handling on those things is telepathic. It's
Yes.
so good.
It is, and a lot of that went to the Taycan as well.
Yeah.
The Taycan's interesting because it's inferior to the Plaid in a lot of ways. Not handling, no.
How is
But
it inferior?
It's not as fast as the Plaid.
How much difference?
Less than people would actually notice. It's
Yeah.
probably like I would say half a second or so, half a second slower. But people go by those metrics all the time. In the real world, they're probably just as fast as each other. But
Yeah.
on the track, the Plaid has another maybe 10 miles an hour or so trap speed. So it is the faster car. Technology-wise, Tesla has it beat. It has the charging network, it has the tech, it has the self-driving features, has everything. But I would prefer the Taycan only because you don't see them everywhere. You could option out a Taycan. I got bored one night. I think I optioned one out to $250,000. That thing. Imagine paying $250,000 for a bespoke Porsche and a Plaid wiping the floor with you.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like you could give them a swatch of like your wife's underwear, and they'll make the interior that color.
Really?
Like I didn't know that. Yeah. So or your girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever. Give them the thing. They'll make the entire interior whatever color you want. The whole car is custom made, but you'll still lose to a Plaid at the end of the day, which is $100,000 less.
It seems
that
kind of
car.
weird that they wouldn't juice that sucker up to make it as fast as a Plaid.
I think they probably didn't see the Plaid coming.
Really?
Like,
How do they not know?
I don't know. Yeah.
But even the original S, like the P100D, the first one that I had, was 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds.
yeah, that was insane.
pretty fast.
That's a pretty fast car. Does the Plaid feel
Yeah.
significantly faster?
It feels faster. It feels like it defies time.
Right.
Like it defies physics. It's
So I think that's the difference between. I feel like the P100D and the Taycan Turbo are probably a little bit more similar than the Plaid. The Plaid's in a
Yeah.
different plane. The Plaid just destroys everything.
yeah.
Everything.
It's a preposterously fast car.
Right.
But again, it doesn't have a fucking horn in the center.
Nope.
It doesn't have a stalk for the for the blinkers.
Nope.
Or the windshield wipers.
They want to just like rub your brain like Xavier, like have the horn, right?
You even change gears with the screen. You go backwards.
I hate that so much. You have to swipe to park
Yeah,
drive.
it's silly.
I can't do that. Yeah.
It's silly. But other than that, the driving experience and just the tech in the car is incredible. I just think they're going too far minimalist with buttons and stuff.
So you come from a lot of people that come from luxury vehicles, like Mercedes, high-end cars like S-classes. They go to a Tesla, they're just like, well, what's all this?
Right.
These seats don't vibrate.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where are the contours in the dash? Like the plaid's just like a straight line.
Very minimalist.
Yoke and a screen.
Yeah, if you look at, I haven't seen I saw one of those new BMW electric car, or not BMW, excuse me, Mercedes electric cars in the wild.
EQS, I think
it's
called.
beautiful.
Really, you think so?
Yeah, I loved it.
I wasn't a huge fan of it.
Have you seen it in the wild?
I have seen it in the wild, yeah.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty. I saw it at a grocery store. I was like, that thing looks sick. It looks very futuristic.
Right.
But is that fast? Like, how is that?
You know what? I'll tell you right now, a car that I do like that I drove maybe like 2 weeks ago, the Lucid.
Oh, I've heard of those.
I really like that car. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of.
So this is the BMW.
Oh, there it is.
3.4 seconds
EQS.
acceleration.
That's slow.
Dog shit.
That's slow compared to everything else.
That's 2 seconds slower than almost 2 seconds slower than a Tesla. But look how cool that looks.
I think it looks like a bug.
Oh, I love it.
Really?
I think it looks great.
Yeah,
Lightning
interior's
reflexes. Bitch,
But look at the range. 277 miles. That's like my old X right now.
Yeah, it's whack. The
Yeah.
range is whack. The acceleration's whack.
Is that the best they can do?
Is that the best one?
Yeah, that's the AMG version. so I
Oh,
think so.
God. Really?
Yeah.
There might be some extra.
I just don't understand.
So who's going to buy that?
Some old dude who loves Mercedes
wants-
but
yeah.
also wants an electric car.
Yeah, Tesla Tech is too new and too forward. I guess I'm going to get 270 miles of range. That was like 10 years ago.
And if your batteries degrade on that thing, then you're looking at
you
like
throw it away.
Yeah, it's like when there was some talk at one point in time of you being able to go to a service station and they would within 5 minutes swap out your batteries.
That died so
put
quickly.
in the new batteries that are fully charged.
That died so quickly.
What happened?
The logistics of it didn't make any sense. When you pull up to a station, it's like, well, who owns this battery? That battery they keep swapping could degrade as well. It just didn't work. It was a great presentation though. It was Elon Musk on stage comparing filling up, I think it was an Audi sedan to the brim at a gas station versus his quick changing station. But logistically, it would just never work. Like if your car's not on the sensors properly, they couldn't adjust it to the car.
Ooh.
As they started making revisions to the cars, the hardware was in different places as well. So unless you keep the design of that car the same over the next 10 years, it just wouldn't. It would make sense then, but you're not going to do that. Your cars are constantly changing and evolving.
Also, how many batteries are you going to need at one of those stations? What if you have 100 cars come in a day, and they want 100 people coming in for gas is probably normal for a gas station. If 100 people come in for new batteries, fuck.
Yeah, you'd have to wait in line, and then where do those batteries come from?
Right.
Are those batteries charged in the meantime?
Right.
Or do you just get a new battery every time, and then that's 100 batteries to different people? It just didn't make any sense.
Also, we have to come to grips with what is in the batteries. These are conflict minerals, and they come from the Congo. They come from parts of the world that are in war. It's like it's not really that green.
Yeah, that's a big debate, man. I can't speak on that because I don't really. A lot of the news I get, unfortunately, comes from the Tesla fanboys beating the door down. No, it's fine. It only uses a minute amount of lithium. It's no big deal. You just scrape it off the top of water. It's really easy to get.
What? Is that real? Is that what they're saying?
That's what
Scrape it off the top of water?
It's really easy to mine. All those big holes that they dig into the ground, that's just, it's exaggerated. That's what I've been told. But I don't drive a Tesla anymore, so it's fine. Yeah.
But you don't drive this anymore? Do you sell this, the V8?
No, the V8. Oh, is that really a Tesla? though?
I don't know how active this is, but there is a swap station network in China. But I
Really?
think it's only for this kind of
That one
Neo
specific
must
car?
be a kind of car, yeah.
Yeah.
And they have their own network. It says they do 30,000 a day.
So
Whoa.
really?
Yeah.
Play that
you
video.
Pay for a subscription.
You pay for a subscription.
Yeah, I was trying
and
to
then-
find all the details. At the bottom, it says kind of the details.
Like, what kind of vehicles do they... So Teslas, they're making Teslas over there, right? So it's battery swaps up to 200,000 kilowatt of rapid recharging per month. If anything over this costs extra in Europe. NIO charges CO 20 kilowatts, which is... Okay.
So here's a question. I think Tesla's route was, why do battery swaps when you could just upgrade the charging infrastructure? When you're at a Tesla supercharger, those things charge at, I think I saw the rate of a Model 3 I was in, like 1,000 miles an hour. So you're pumping all that juice into the battery. Does it even make sense to do a battery swap financially? Because Tesla has to have at least hundreds of batteries on hand just in case.
How long does it take to fully charge if you go to a supercharger station, fully charged like a Model 3?
Gosh, if no one's around, you could probably charge it in like an hour and change. No joke.
Fully charged, from dead to fully charged?
Fully charged, yeah. I'd say maybe it tops an hour and a half.
That's pretty impressive.
I mean, as they get higher, obviously, as the charge rate as the battery capacity gets higher, the charge rate slows down because they can't pump as much energy into it when the battery's almost full. But those things are charged lightning fast now. I mean, you're not spending more than 2 hours at a charging station unless there's like 50,000 other cars there.
If there's 50,000 other cars, it just like
The rate
throttles?
slows, the rate slows down because it has to distribute it to everyone.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, it
I
could be
didn't know
annoying.
that.
It could be annoying. Yeah, it definitely throttles
So it's like
it.
a lot of people using the Wi-Fi.
Correct. It slows down.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, no is correct.
So what was the motivation to build this V8 Tesla?
That's a good question. So
Let's see, pull up a video of Rich's YouTube channel.
Tesla got a as I was building, different Teslas over the years, a lot of the fanboys got to me after a while. I mean, have you been around like Tesla fanatics, like ultra fanatics that are just
I
like
try to avoid all fanatics.
Yes. Gosh.
In every single
Yes,
area
every
of
genre,
life.
yes. Whatsoever,
It's
yeah.
just, they're too crazy.
It's a bit much. So what started happening over time was Tesla kind of pulled the reins in on ordering parts for cars. If I want to order like a battery or a motor, a charger, I can't do those things. Like those are restricted parts. You can't do that. So what that tells me is that the product that I bought, the product I spent all this money on, I don't really own it.
Right.
Because they're in control of the parts for it.
Like an iPhone.
Correct. Yes. Exactly like iPhone. So I said to myself, you know what? It's funny. Oh, that's a funny clip. That's what actually ran out of gas there. Go figure. I ran out of gas. And that's actually an electric Tesla bringing me gas. That's a different story. But what ended up happening was over time, it got worse and worse. Over time, it's like, well, what's the VIN number to this car? Oh, we don't believe in selling you these parts. This isn't going to work. That car is a salvage car. You can't do it. And I said to myself, you know what? What can I do to this vehicle to make it so that I can get parts easy and it's easy to service and I have full control over it? I said, you know what? I'm a Chevy fanboy. I'm going to throw an LS in there. Throwing an LS in there, that allows me to get parts literally off the shelf from AutoZone. Like
Right.
for Tesla, if my Tesla breaks, let's just say you're in your Plaid right now, right? And you break down the side of the road. And the tow truck driver says, what do you want me to bring you? You're going to say AutoZone or Advanced Auto Parts or Pep Boys? No. There isn't a single part sold for those cars there. If I break down the V8 Tesla, you can pull me anywhere. I could get pistons, rods, you name it, lifters, valves for that car, literally anywhere, and I have full control over it.
How did you make the V8 engine interface with the Tesla dashboard?
That's a great question. So all cars have what's known as an accessory mode, right? The drive rails aren't on, and the engine isn't on, but the accessories are on. You go into a car, like the screen turns on, but the engine isn't on.
Right.
So the Tesla effectively believes it's an accessory mode right now. All the windows work, the headlights work, the turn signals work, everything works. It's just that the last button to turn on the drive rails and actually start the car, that's no longer there. And that's where the V8 engine takes over. So imagine you have your Porsche, right? Your GT3. You get in that car, you sit in it right now, and you do everything but turn the engine over. All the accessories work. The lights work, the radio works, everything works, except for that last phase to turn the fuel pump on, set the spark plugs on, to turn the engine over. So the Tesla just thinks it's on and idle, but not ready to drive.
Really?
Yeah.
And how did you rig that?
So the V8, so basically any Tesla will do that. You pull a Tesla out of a junkyard, you could get in it, sit in it, make sure it's getting power, and you could at least get to that step. Now, the way the V8 takes over is V8s are probably it's the dumbest engine alive. You give it a battery to start it over, and you give it fuel, it's going to run. So there's a separate control system for the engine itself. So we have a Haltech system that communicates with that. So there's actually two separate systems that control the car. And if one of those systems dies, the car will still function. If the Tesla screen dies all of a sudden and Tesla says, you know what, I had enough of this, that V8, it'll still turn on and I can still go wherever I want.
You just want to have a speedometer and you want to have a fuel gauge.
Well, actually I will, because the separate system, the Haltech system, controls the gas engine still.
Oh.
So there's two independent systems that work separate of each other.
So the separate system, what kind of dashboard are you looking at? Are you looking at the same dashboard that a
Yes.
regular Tesla has?
Same. So that speedometer still works too because it goes by the wheel speed sensors. That speedometer still works. The navigation works. The Bluetooth works. The car works.
Really?
If you were to sit in that car right now, besides the 6-speed shifter, you wouldn't be able to tell anything special about it.
So you have a 6-speed manual in there?
6-speed manual shifter. Yeah, you see it right there in that video right there to the
Back it up a little bit. You call it iced tea?
iced tea, yeah.
Internal combustion engine
Tesla.
tea.
Yeah.
I like it.
So there's a shifter right in the middle, and it's a 6-speed. It's sequentially shifted. You tap it forward and tap it back to go up and down.
Oh, okay.
And it has that's it
like
right there.
a race car.
That's it right there. Yep.
What is that second gear to the left of it?
That's to engage reverse. So you pull
Oh.
it back to go in reverse.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's the only way you could tell. I mean, everything else works on the screen. Like the door indicator buttons work, the sunroof works. Literally everything works in that car.
How hard was this to do?
It took a team of us. We have a Joshua, our fabricator. We had to literally cut the car in half
Really?
to form the transmission tunnel. Because Teslas are one of the few cars which are great because they were designed as EVs only.
Right.
Right. Some companies will take a gas car and then throw an electric drivetrain in it and call it a day. Teslas were designed from the ground up to be electric vehicles. Well, the Model S was. So the floor is completely flat. If for rear-wheel drive cars, you have a drive shaft that goes from the front to the back. Well, we couldn't put that there because the floor is flat. We had to cut the car in half, install the engine, and then build a transmission tunnel over that drive shaft from the front all the way back. Also a transmission tunnel as well.
Whoa.
Because there's the transmission, that sticks out like a
So
couple
this is all
feet.
fabricated.
All fabrication. All fabric. I mean, countless hours have gone into that. So
How long from the time you had this idea to the actual starting and driving?
about 2 years.
Wow.
So
That's a crazy commitment.
You know how it is. Like the planning stages are like, yeah, I'm gonna do this.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I should do it. How much is that? Nah, I'm not gonna do it. Then I was contemplating for a while, and then I said, you know what? I gotta commit to this. Let's start doing this. Hooked up with Joshua. He's like, hey, listen. He actually, fun fact. So he was watching one of the videos, and he's just like, hey, like, you know, if you need help with fabrication stuff, let me know. He used to build like NASCARs, like tube
wow.
chassis. He says, I could do stuff. Never seen his work before. I took that V8 Tesla, dropped it off at his house, and I said, I trust you on this one. And then that was it. The rest was history. So we would go there, shoot video. The first start video was there, and we just worked on it until the end, and then it's running and driving.
So when you cut it in half, do you have to do something to ensure the rigidity of the structure?
Yeah, there's bracing and reinforcements all over the car.
So is it much heavier than the original car?
It's about 1,200 pounds lighter than the original car.
Really?
Yes.
Because of the electric engine and the batteries missing?
If you think about it, the average battery weight of a Tesla is well over 1,000 pounds, 1,100 pounds in some cases.
That makes sense.
There was a rear motor, subframe that was like 350 pounds, 400 pounds. Then there's a front motor as well. So the front motor, after moving all that weight, putting an engine and a transmission, an LS is one of the lightest engines they make with the drivetrain. That car went from 4,975 pounds to like 3,300 pounds. The car weighs next to nothing now.
Wow.
Comparably speaking.
3,000 pounds for a sedan is really light.
It's very light. And that has the full interior, the seats, it has everything in there.
That's like sports car light.
Yeah. It's a light car. You'd be amazed at how much you could remove a shot. That's the tunnel right there. That's all the bracing in the tunnel.
Oh,
so we had to build that. So that was the first start rate. That was really fun. We had to build that tunnel, all the bracing in it, so it wouldn't fall apart. So all that structural tubing going across it so the car doesn't pancake itself, and that's the work.
Now, when you drive this thing,
Yeah.
Obviously it wasn't designed to have an engine in the front and
Nope.
the transmission tunnel and all that.
That was a
jazz.
fake yoke. We were going to put a yoke in it as a joke. We ended up not doing that. That's a waste of time.
I don't like the yoke.
No.
I don't like it as a steering choice. It just sucks when you're trying to park and pull into places.
Right.
How much did it affect the way the car handles?
The car handles great. We took it on a racetrack. So eBay Motors, actually, we're sponsored by them. They brought us out to a Sonoma Raceway, and we were just doing donouts and burnouts around their circle track. The car, it feels, you know what it feels like? It feels like almost like what's a four-door muscle car? A modern muscle car. Like
Charger?
Charger.
Yeah.
Cadillac CTS.
Charger SRT. Oh, yeah,
SRT.
Cadillac.
Cadillac. It's
Yeah.
more like a Cadillac CTS-V.
Wow.
And it's light, it's fun. It'll do a burnout. I think I was going like 30 miles an hour, stomped on it, rolling burnout until like almost 100. The thing is ridiculously
Really?
fun. Yeah, it's a really fun car. But that's the thing. The biggest debate was, Rich, why are you doing this? Because the finished product is slower than a normal Tesla, right? I'm like, that's fair enough. 0 to 60 is not as fast. It's rear-wheel drive only now. It'll spin the tires until 100, no problem. It's there's no autopilot. That doesn't work anymore. But I'll tell you right now, I took that car to a show, parked it next to a Plaid, the fastest and most amazing car built right now. People didn't even know there was a Plaid next to me. People went crazy over that car, and that's why it was built because
of the novelty.
Because it's the novelty.
Yeah.
It's listen. That's probably the only one that's going to get built. There's no sense in making a second one because let's be real, the car was expensive to make, and it isn't as fast as a regular Tesla. It's just to show what you can do when you put your mind to it. And I'll tell you, man, I've had offers to buy that car for ridiculous amounts of money just because of what it is. You can work on it, you could modify it yourself, and it's the spirit of car enthusiasm.
Are you going to sell it?
Never.
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 You just said never.
I have a big problem, Joe. I keep every car I build, I keep. Every car that represents a memory for me, whether it's friends coming together for a common cause, building something, having all those memories, I never sell them.
Really?
Yeah. So the V8 Tesla is one of them because I could see myself already. That car has made so many memories as friends. If I sell that car and I see some knucklehead driving it down the street, I'll be like, "What? That's my car.
Right.
I want that. Why are you having fun in that?"
Especially the amount of time involved in
Right.
thinking. That one I get.
Right.
I get.
About the engineering behind it, because what's it worth to someone? 100, 150,
Right.
200? I mean, no one's going to pay 200 for it. Let's just say 150 for that car. That's cool, but like, now what?
Right.
I don't have my car back. You know?
Right. And then you're going to make something else anyway.
Right, true.
The LS, what is the stock LS out of the box? Horsepower.
Stock LS, I think about 425 or something like that.
And with a 3,000-pound car, that's probably great.
It's really fun. I think we did a long tube headers, a few other modifications to it. I think it's about like 470 or so right now. And then we're actually putting a supercharger on it in another few months.
Ooh.
It's going back to SEMA. But yeah, that's the thing. It's like, that's why I enjoy about it. Like your Plaid right now, right? Let's just say you get bored of the power, right? But what do you do to it? As a car enthusiast, your Porsche GT3 RS, you could do a million different things to it.
Right.
It's shot works. It's been modified already. Your old muscle cars, you could improve the handling, the braking, the power. You add whatever you want. If you're in a regular Tesla, as an enthusiast, I actually got very bored of mine. Because the way you get it is the way it's going to stay unless you buy a Plaid or you get on your knees and beg Elon to release a software update to give you 30 more horsepower.
Well, there's a company called Unplugged. Do you know about them?
Of course,
Yeah.
Unplugged Performance, Ben. I know him very well.
Yeah, so they will take a Tesla and they will jazz it up and put
Right.
wider tires and fender flares and a rear spoiler, and
Right.
they get crazy.
Which is cool, but I want more power.
Right.
When I step my foot down, I want like my eyes to like go in the back of my head.
Right.
And in the regular Tesla, you could add all the suspension stuff you want to feel great around corners, but I want that power. I want when I'm at a stoplight, I see everyone in my rearview mirror. So with the V8 Tesla, granted, no, it's nothing crazy now. It's fun to drive, but you know what the power of a fully built LS engine is. There's no limit. There's no limit.
You can keep going.
You keep going. You could get, the Plaid makes about, I think you're probably putting out maybe 1,100 horsepower now on your Plaid, I think, or 1,200,
something like that, which is hilarious.
Which is insane. The V8 Tesla, you could, granted, you only put in the power of the rear wheels, but you could have 1,500, 2,000, you name it.
Really?
Oh, LS engine, yeah, it's infinite power, 3,000 horsepower if you want.
What?
Yeah.
What do you have to do that?
You have to redesign the whole engine. You have to build the whole thing, but yeah.
You can get 3,000 horsepower out of an LS engine?
Out of a V8 engine, of course you can. Yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Forged block. Yeah, you have to do literally everything. But yeah, I mean,
And
you
it's
could
probably gonna blow up in your face.
Absolutely, it's a ticking time bomb, but it's fun until it blows up. But that's the spirit of car modification. Like you drive it, you blow it up, you rebuild it, and then you do it all over again.
Like how many people have done those to Supras?
Oh God.
Like those old 90s style
There's
Supras?
an infinite amount of Supra owners that have been doing that.
I saw one sold. It was in my news feed yesterday. I think it sold for $250,000.
Really? Yeah.
A 94 or 95 Supra. I'm like, what?
You know what's a bitch, Joe? Nostalgia's a bitch.
Yeah.
I I recently purchased a couple cars that I've always wanted when I was a kid. I've always wanted a Skyline, you know, the right-hand drive Skylines.
You got one of those?
I got one of those, and I've always wanted an Evo. You know, the Mitsubishi Evo, Lance Revolution 8s? Always wanted one of those. I bought those cars, Joe, and the reason why nostalgia is a bitch is because they're slow as hell. From a modern standpoint, if you drive any modern car now, now that you have a Plaid, everything else,
everything's slow.
It's a novelty.
Yeah.
So like I don't have a Plaid, but I have 911. Like the Evo, there's no Bluetooth, there's no leather seats. The car rattles, it squeaks, the paint is terrible. It handles like a go-kart and it's awesome. But at the end of the day, it's a novelty.
Yeah.
So everything else that you drive, I mean, that car is 20 years old. The Skyline is 30 years old. And those cars, you get in them, there's no modern safety. They're not very fast. The shifter is notchy. They're economy cars in Japan. But here they're really cool. I've driven them a total of maybe 7 miles. And I'm like, I think I'm done here. I'm going back to the Porsche, thank you. So that's
so
the
you
tough
just
part.
have it and you're just gonna hang on to it.
I'll probably get rid of the Skyline first, because when I was a kid, I've always wanted an Evo. So I think I'll fix that, build it up, make it really nice. But the Skyline's gonna go for sure.
Is it weird to drive with the right hand side?
Very weird.
That's gotta be like so.
So you can't shift fast because like my left hand is still learning how to do that. Yeah, but it's just it's challenging to get used to that. It's like I drove it for a while. I'm like, why am I driving this left-hand drive, not very fast accelerating vehicle? In order to make it fast, I'd have to spend $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. At the end of the day, I just spent $50,000, and what do I have? A car that's still slower than its nearest competitor, modern competitor. Yeah.
The thrill of driving, though, it's like disproportionate sometimes to the actual speed you go. Like if you drive like an old Porsche, like a 1970 911, they're not fast.
No.
But it feels quick.
Yes.
Like there's something to the feel of it.
You're very connected with the road. Absolutely. Yeah, you don't have to drive a fast car. Driving a slow car fast is an unbelievably rewarding experience. I drove one of my friend's cars, Sam. He has a Daihatsu Mira, and it's a right-hand drive car, all-wheel drive, turbo, and the car's about this big, right?
I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, I didn't either until I saw it.
Daihatsu?
Daihatsu Mira, yeah.
Who makes that?
Daihatsu.
What do they make besides that one car?
Refrigerators. I have no idea what they make, right? So I drove that, and we were driving it. I was rolling through the gears. It's all-wheel drive turbo. It's fun. There we go. That's what it is. Daihatsu Mira.
Oh, my God. That thing's disgusting.
It really is.
What is that?
I have no idea what that is.
Jet engine?
Yeah. It definitely needs it. But look at the black one to the on top right there. It looks just like that. So
you got one of those?
So I drove it, and I'm like, I was going through the gears, Joe. Not kidding you, not. Red line, red. I look down. I'm going like 48 miles an hour. So that's what it is. It's driving a slow car fast with that same experience. It's pretty fun. And then that car thank God I didn't get that one. But it being right-hand drive is funny because the car is so small, it doesn't matter what side you're on. The car is so narrow.
It's so tiny.
It's so tiny, it doesn't matter at all.
What are the regulations for driving a right-hand drive car? Is it just you just register it and drive it? It's fine?
You normally register it and drive it. However, a lot of states are trying to crack down on this thing called a key truck. A key truck is very similar to what I sent you. It's just a pickup truck version of it. And a lot of states are cracking down because they're not safe. There's just been flood of Japanese cars being imported because they're great on gas and they're normally pretty clean. And in the U.S. right now, if you wanted to get a small pickup truck, you have to buy, like a Ford Maverick or something like that, which will cost you, $30,000 at the end of the day. A lot of people have been importing these little mini key cars from Japan, these really small trucks that are great. I mean, they have huge beds. You could fit all kinds of stuff in them, going to Home Depot and get some lumber. But a lot of states are starting to crack down on them because, there we go. AutoZam, those are sick.
Key car?
Yes.
It says?
That's a key car.
Mazda?
Well,
AZ1?
AZ1, those are awesome cars.
So what is
a key truck? It's a pickup truck, a key truck. And
that's a key car?
That's a key car. It's the designation. Type in key Key truck. KEI
How
truck.
is that a pickup truck?
Oh no, you'll see if you type in key KEI truck, you'll see it.
Okay, but that's just a KEI car.
Yes, K. Yeah, there we go. Those are the trucks.
Okay, so it has like a little flatbed.
It has a little flatbed. The sides fold
that
down.
thing's ridiculous.
They have incredible utility, but a lot of states are cracking down on them because it's one of the most dangerous things you could put on the road.
Why?
If you get into a car accident with that, there's no there's no airbags, there's no crumples. Your knees are the crumple zone in those cars.
Oh, I see.
So you can have a little garden back there. See?
Drift. He's
Yeah.
got a drift.
but they are fun. But it's some places are saying these are so dangerous that we don't want them on the road anymore.
When it comes to nostalgia, for me, there's one car that I've been thinking about a lot lately. It's the NSX.
Oh my gosh!
I had 2 NSXs.
You have?
I used to. I don't have any anymore.
Okay.
But I had one in the 90s with the flip-up headlights, and I had another one in 2005.
With the static ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
those are nice cars, man.
it wasn't fast, but I put a Comptech supercharger on it, and it got it into like the 400 horsepower range.
How was it?
It was great. It was
Really?
fun, but it was just there's something about the cockpit and the feel of that car.
Oh, I want that. I want the new.
You like the
NSX.
new one?
I like the
They're,
new one.
they're not
yeah.
making them anymore.
They stopped making, and the prices shot up.
They're making the S. The S is the latest and greatest, and it's supposed to be pretty fucking incredible.
How come you didn't get a second generation NSX? Since you like the
Because
first
it's
one so much?
automatic.
Yeah.
What I liked about the first generation NSX was that it was a super lightweight mid-engine car with a manual gearbox, and
Right.
it just felt like a little race car.
Right.
And when I sat in the cockpit, I was like, "This is perfect."
a fighter jet. Yeah.
It's
good.
and it's like this. You have this very small gauge cluster. The shifter's right there.
Right.
Everything's ergonomic. The
Right.
seats feel really good, and it was just a joy to drive. Man.
And it's a tiny ass car too. Seeing an NSX next to any modern sports car,
yeah.
everything else looks like pregnant and bloated.
It's tiny and it handles really well, and
Right.
it's a fucking Honda, so
Yes.
it's bulletproof.
Why'd you get rid of it, Joe? Why'd you get rid of two
I
Hondas?
don't know. I don't know.
Buy another one.
It's young and dumb.
They're only $100,000 now, so yeah, go for it.
Isn't that crazy?
They're
They're
100
so
grand now.
expensive. They're
Yeah.
more than they cost if you bought one new then.
Correct. Yes.
But it's
Yeah.
because they're good. It's not like a Corvette from that era is not $100,000.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's like $17.
That's-
Oh, that looks sick.
Is that an old one or a new?
Yeah,
that's-
that's a 97.
That's an
It
older
says
one.
2017.
That's not
though.
true.
Yeah, no.
That's definitely not
Yeah, so
correct.
it looks like
No.
an old one.
Yeah.
But it looks modern. Even that looks modern today.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. That's an older one, Jamie, because the headlights lift
The pop up,
So
yeah.
that's what was it, like 2002 or something like
They
that?
haven't made a. They haven't made. I think they stopped. You know what the last
25.
pop-up headlight car was? I think it was a Corvette C5. One of the last pop-up headlight
that's-
cars. It was. Yeah, that's the new one. There we
Yeah. Go back to that other page that we were just on and click on the one below. It says 94 NSX. Yeah,
There we go.
That's a 94.
go. There we go.
So that's like, what year did it come out? 92 or something? I remember the first one I saw. I was
it was
in
90.
Boston.
Yeah.
I saw a red one drive by with a black roof like that.
You're
just
like, what the
that.
hell
I
is
was like,
that? Right. They're beautiful.
It looked amazing. It was like a Ferrari for people who were smart.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ferrari for someone who wanted to actually be able to drive it and not have it break down.
And here's the scary part, right? So, going back to enthusiasm about driving a car, a V6 Accord today, you better watch the hell out.
Yeah, he's gonna bury me.
It's gonna bury you.
Toast me.
But it's just saying that there's a lot more to a car than just 0 to 60 and how
Yeah.
fast it is, and that's how I feel when I drive. You
The
know,
problem is they
it's
look fast.
like an i8.
Yeah.
It's i8 all over again.
Yeah, and those have pretty skinny tires too. These
Yeah.
the old NSXs.
But you could modify them and just to the moon. The i8
Yeah.
could, the Honda, the engine in the NSX, there's infinite potential because it's a Honda engine. You could do whatever you want to that. The BMW i8 has a 3-cylinder Mini Cooper engine. You're not getting very far with that.
Does it really?
Yeah, and an electric motor in the front that you can't crack either. So you're really not getting far with those
What's
things.
your overall horsepower in the i8?
I think 360 or something like that. 370. Yeah, exactly. Ugh. Yeah,
Well, the NSX I think was like 270.
yeah. So I mean, I give an old NSX a run for its money.
You might kill it.
But anything other than that, it's like I'm gonna probably back off from that.
But
one.
when I had the supercharger on mine, it made it a lot better.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I didn't want to go wide body. Like there's a lot of Google wide body NSX conversion.
They look sick though. They look sick. But
They
it's a
kinda-
little boy racerish though. Like, what do you?
Yes.
I mean, you had that NSX how many years ago?
2005 is when I had it.
Yeah, that wouldn't fit your look. You'd be like, who the hell's this guy?
Yeah.
Is that Joe Rogan?
It's just a little too. Yeah.
Oh, that looks kind of sick
That
though.
looks pretty badass. Look at that one. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
pretty fucking dope.
I can't see you in that at all. I mean, I could see, to being nice, I could see someone in a different maybe nationality driving that. maybe not you per se, but yeah.
Maybe someone from another country.
Yeah, maybe
from Asia, perhaps.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
that
I didn't say
red
it.
one. Look at that one.
That looks
oh
sick.
My god.
But where are you? But where are you
wow.
going in that? Where are you going?
Where are you going? That
Yeah.
looks like a goddamn race car.
Yeah.
I mean, that's full on. Like, look what he's done with the rear taillights and
Right.
everything. That's barely an NSX.
No, I'd still rock it though. But I wouldn't go very far though. I'd be like, hey guys, I go to the grocery store, maybe get some cans of soup and come back.
Yeah, it's like at the end of the day, what are you doing? Like, I see that you're like the original car. You kind of have to accept the dimensions.
I like
for
that.
what it is.
That's nice.
That's subtle.
Minus the logos on it.
Yes.
Yeah, I would rock that.
Yeah, the rear tail is a little much, the rear wing, but that's not bad.
Right.
That's not bad right there.
Yeah.
NSXR prototype.
That is a video game.
Oh.
That's how real. That's how real the video games are getting now, Joe.
Oh my God! Believe me, I've seen. I got duped. I watched this Formula One race car launch itself through the air and then make a corner. I was like, "Is this possible?"
Yeah.
And my friend was like,
How
"That's
is
a
that?
fucking video
It's a
game,
game,
you
Joe.
idiot."
Relax.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, no way.
The fuck?
You play games at all?
No,
No.
I can't.
You know
I'm
how-
one of those people.
Right.
I get addicted.
Right.
I used to be addicted to first-person shooters, like
Really?
Quake.
Like Call of Duty and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
we used to have a whole like a LAN set up at our
Right.
old studio, and it was a real problem.
Really.
Well, yeah, we'd get in there and we'd play Quake. It was a real problem. We'd
Yeah.
play for hours and hours, and I'd leave there nervous, and hands would be shaking.
Right. You want to shoot someone? Or
But,
something?
but I was like, no, it's like the adrenaline from playing the game, and then if you got your ass kicked, you felt so bad. You're like,
Yeah.
why do I feel terrible
right.
from
Like
this
depressed.
stupid ass game?
Yeah.
It just-
Right. Yeah.
And this is what kids are doing all day when they're playing like Modern Warfare
I
and all these
know.
crazy games. It's like,
I know. Do you think? Now it's going to get weird. Ready for this?
Okay.
Do you think there's any association with kids playing those violent games and school shootings?
I would say that there has to be some sort of an association with some people with acting out fantasies in a video game
Right.
and then wanting to do them in real life.
Gotcha.
It's got for some people.
Right.
But I think you would have to be so troubled. I don't think a video game can turn you into a murderer.
Absolutely not.
But I think a video game combined with all kinds of crazy trauma, fucked up life, psych medications, person who's like legitimately mentally ill,
Right.
perhaps it would encourage you.
It's a combination of all those
Yeah,
things.
but the question is like, should we limit video games because some people are disturbed?
No, absolutely not.
I don't think so.
No, that's a big debate whenever that happens. It's the video games, it's the guns. It's
Yeah, but
like,
it's
oh, let's
not,
slow
because
down
if
for a
you and
second.
I sat down and we played video games together and shot each other, we wouldn't think about shooting each other.
No,
it's
it would not.
stupid.
It would not.
It's just fun.
Right.
For most people, it's just fun.
It's just a fun game, right?
Yeah, like a car for most people is fun, but for some people, they would want to drive into a crowd of people because they're
Right.
fucking crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have that. You have a person that's mentally and emotionally unstable.
Who's dinging? Is
that me? I don't think it's me.
Because that's super embarrassing.
I don't think. No, I don't have any friends. Yeah. Anyways, so so yeah, I think it's a lot of people there's always a debate. Every time some big event happens, it's like, was it the
Yeah.
person? Even when it comes to even taking it back to the to autopilot, all those autopilot crashes.
Yeah.
People just.
I don't
crash.
believe in autopilot.
People just. You never use it before?
No.
Really?
I mean,
Why?
I'll use it occasionally to show off. Like, watch
Yeah.
this.
Look at this.
Ooh.
That's cool, huh? Okay, shut it
Yeah.
off. Shut it off. Shut it off.
I don't.
You don't believe it? You don't believe in Elon Musk?
I do believe in Elon. I just don't believe
That's
in
his
driving
technology.
around with autopilot. I like to drive.
Yeah, I feel the same exact way. I think there's been a lot of debate about what happens during autopilot. Whose fault is it?
Right.
When the car is it the operator's fault or is it the car's fault? And one of the issues that people have been struggling with is when there's an autopilot failure, when the car does something erratic or it crashes and then someone loses their life. Who analyzes that data, and how they analyze the data? Does Tesla necessarily give that over to the NHTSA, or do they analyze it themselves and say, okay, it's fine? That's been a big trouble spot because all their data is encrypted. You know, they have it under lock and key. Who does the accident scene reconstruction for things
What
like
about
that?
what about like decisions that have to be made. Like, what if someone is walking right in front of you, and to the left is an oncoming vehicle?
Right.
So you could either swerve into the oncoming vehicle or
Right.
hit the person. What does the computer do?
I don't know if it's that advanced yet where it determines whose life to take.
Right.
I don't think I think that's a big debate though. What do you do?
Right.
It's like if there's two people crossing the street and you could hit one versus the other, one of them's an old lady, do you hit her or do you hit the young person? Like how do you make
Right.
that decision?
Do you cripple the young person or take the
Right.
old lady out?
Right. I know who would you hit, Joe?
The old lady.
Yes, for sure. I'd run right in there.
Depends.
Floor
Depends
it.
on who's at fault. You know,
It's
like,
probably the
who's-
old lady because she's old.
Could be.
She's
Could
probably
be.
old, senile. She's looking for her meds, and then she's running the street like she shouldn't have been there.
God, that's got to be a horrible feeling to hit somebody with a fucking car.
I know.
A friend of mine got hit by a car, and she was like, it was like 2 years ago. She's still fucked up. She
Really?
had a bunch of brain surgeries and shit.
Oh, she got hit by one.
Oh yeah, she got
Jeez.
hit by a car while she was jogging.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
man. That
somebody-
sounds terrifying, man.
She was running in L.A. Someone wasn't paying attention. Just boom.
How fast she going,
Yeah.
you know? And I know it doesn't matter. I don't know why I want to
don't
know.
think she has any idea.
Did the person stop?
Yeah, they stopped.
Oh, jeez, man.
People saw it. It was, but she got fucking wrecked. Like, she got flown through the air and landed on her head, like the whole deal.
Oh, shit, man.
Yeah.
That's worrisome, man. That always kind of scares me about
Well,
being injured like
jogging
that.
with earphones on in L.A. is crazy.
Really?
It's crazy. I mean, why would you do
Is that why you left?
That's why.
That's why you left?
Jogging with earphones
I
on.
couldn't jog with it. God
I was
damn
like,
it.
I need to go to a place where I could jog and be isolated
Right.
from sound.
How do you like Texas so? You've been here for 2 years now. How do
Yeah,
you like
I
so
love
far?
it.
Really?
I love it. The people are so friendly.
Dude, Austin.
That's like one of the best parts about it.
It's crazy here. The second I got here, there's a lot of young, very good-looking professionals here. Like a lot. Like it's a pretty hip and modern. I do like it here.
It's a hip city.
It's very nice. A hip city.
It's a nice combination of progressive and surrounded by Republicans.
Yes.
It's weird sort
Right.
of vibe. It's like a
Right.
get along with everybody vibe.
Right. Like we're okay, right?
Yeah.
We're okay, right? Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just the food here is fantastic.
It's very good.
It's got an amazing comedy scene. The
Right.
comedy scene's incredible.
Is it because of you?
I had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Building up that scene. I get
It's
it,
not
man.
bad.
I respect
We're
it.
working on it.
I respect it, man. I respect
Yeah, I
it.
bought a club out here.
Did you really?
Yeah. We're in the
Awesome,
middle
dude.
of construction right now.
You know, Joe, we had a conversation a while back where you thought that I should potentially do comedy. Are you still is that still a thing?
You could do it.
Maybe I'll go to your show.
I think
When
any
your club
smart
opens up.
person who's funny can do comedy.
Really?
So you definitely could do comedy. It's a matter of whether or not you wanted to dedicate yourself and put the time in.
Oh, geez.
It's a fucking like. There's this girl who I saw do stand up for the first time, and she's pretty funny. And I told her, I go, hey, I think you're really funny. You can really do this. And then I went to her Instagram page the other day and
Yeah.
watched a clip that she put up of an open mic, and it reminded me of what a fucking journey this is. What a grind.
Right.
Like she's on the first steps of like what's
Right.
that Georgia, the Appalachian Trail?
Yep.
Where it takes like 6 months to walk it.
Exactly.
That's what she's doing. But it's
Right.
way worse than 6 months. It's like she's on
It's
the
years.
6-year trail.
So there's a difference between someone wanting to do it recreationally and also do it to like put food on the table. I think I could
Yes.
do it as like an open mic night
For
and-
sure.
and get a few chuckles.
100%.
But when it comes to putting food on the table, my kids would die. They would know they would make a comedy.
You could
I couldn't
do
make
it. It just would take a Herculean effort, and it would take years and years of dedicating yourself to open mic nights
Right.
and then opening for people and then writing on your act and keeping progressing.
So before comedians get into it full time, they don't have jobs, do they? Because I listen to stories like yours and and Dave's and stuff. It seems like this was like your life thing for both of you. Like this is what you wanted to do.
Dave was so young he didn't have a job. Like when
Right.
I met Dave, he was 18 and he was already doing stand up.
Right.
And he was already a professional.
So they don't have. That's what I mean. Like I have a job
Right.
now in air quotes.
Yeah.
How do you?
You also have a family, so
Right.
it's like the time that's spent away where you'd have to go to open mic nights and not just one, right? You
Right.
try to go to 2 or 3 a night.
Damn.
Yeah, right. So you're leaving your house at 7 and you're coming home at midnight every night.
Right.
And then you're frustrated because you bombed 2 out of 3 times.
Right.
It's like, oh, what
Maybe
am
even
I doing?
maybe even 3 out of 3. Right.
Maybe, but that one where you didn't bomb, if you had one of those nights,
Yeah.
that's what sparks you. That's you're like, God, maybe I can do this.
That's your hit. I got you.
Yeah, and
I
you
gotcha.
start thinking what an amazing life it would be if you could just make a living telling jokes.
Right.
It is possible to do. You 100% could do it. It's just whether or not you wanted to dedicate yourself. And most of the people that start out, like when I started, I was 21, and I started at 21 because I thought that you had to be 21 to get into the club.
Right.
Turns out they'll let people underage get in. There's like licenses where you can kind of like let people perform, but they have to leave after they perform. You can't hang around the bar. Mm-hmm. But it's just such a grind. It takes so long before you're like really making a living and really competent, and there's no one who could teach you how to do it. So you're kind of like a blind person bumping into walls. And
why can't someone teach you? A veteran comedian.
They kind of can.
The ropes? Yeah.
Francis Foster was on yesterday from the show Trigonometry, and Francis for a long time actually taught a comedy course. And he's a funny comic, and he taught a comedy course. And that's the rarity. Most of the people that teach those things suck.
Right.
They're usually failed comedians, and they're trying to like eke out some money by.
Gotcha.
They'll put together a course, and the course serves function though. One of the things that it does serve is
it a free course?
No,
nothing's ever free, is it?
Yeah,
nothing's ever free, is it, Joe?
Not in that world.
Damn it.
No, those people that do that are doing that. Just some of them would say. Some people would say, not me. That's a scam.
Right.
And that they're not teaching you shit. But what I think they're providing a service where they're allowing you to get on stage for the first time.
Really?
And sometimes that's enough. Like sometimes some people want to do comedy and they don't know how to start, and so I'll take a comedy course, and they'll at the end of the course they get you on stage and you perform.
Oh, you actually get on stage?
Yes. A lot of them do that.
Oh shit, that's scary.
Yeah, they have like a 5-week thing or something like that, and they'll have you try out your jokes in front of the crowd of comedians that are also there, and then after 5 weeks then they put together an actual show, and friends and family will come and people will perform.
I couldn't do it. That's the problem now. Do you ever feel weird when you make a joke and you're like, man, my family could be in here somewhere? You ever think about that all the time?
You gotta be careful.
Yeah, because you know I'm nowhere near the level that you are, but I make those little shitty YouTube videos, and sometimes when I say something, I cringe. Cause like my mom could be watching this.
Right.
And it turns out she is watching it. She actually called me and told me. She called me and told me. She goes, what was on your mind when you said that? Yeah, it's like, oh, geez, don't do this, Mom.
Yeah, I cannot debate my material with my mother.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. Oof. I'm not going to have those conversations.
Does she watch? Does she?
No.
Good.
Thank
It's
God.
for the best. It's for the best.
My mom, she only finds out about me like, if there's like
some
something
scandal
in the news.
Yeah.
If there's something comes across her news feed or something political. My mother is oddly political.
Right.
So it's like that she'll like, oh, glad you won't have Trump on your podcast.
Oh, here it comes.
I'm like, Mom,
yeah, okay,
let's
Mom,
not
don't
talk
do
about this. I don't want to talk.
This. Look, I have a good life, okay, Mom? I have a very good life.
I just don't want to have a conversation
yeah.
with my mom about stuff like that.
Right.
I just would prefer her to never see my act.
Right.
Never listen to my podcast.
Yes.
I'm just your son. Let's leave it at that.
Are you guys on the same political level or no?
Well, my mother's like a diehard Democrat.
Okay.
Like a blue no matter who.
Right.
And doesn't see any of the ridiculousness of the party.
A lot of fun conversations there, I'm assuming.
If she was young, she would definitely have her gender pronouns in her Twitter bio.
Oh, boy.
She doesn't have a Twitter.
Right.
So luckily.
Thank goodness.
My parents were hippies, man. Like
really?
Hardcore hippies when I was a kid.
Nice.
So they're all super democratic. But it's like
so
they're all whores. All political parties are whores.
Absolutely.
They're whores. They're
I agree.
whores. They're just fucking bought and sold by corporations.
Absolutely. We all are in a sense.
Yeah.
Aren't we all, Joe, when you think about it?
In a way.
Aren't we all, Joe?
Yes.
I have a couple crises that I'm facing right now. You know, when you have to know who your overlords are, right? As cool as we think we are, there's still systems in place that pay us.
Right.
Right. So I had a big debate where, you know, I do ads on my channel, and there was one that there was a credit card company, a credit card app that wanted to run an ad on the channel. I said, fine. I looked at that name, and that is the same name of the credit card company when I was a kid in college. You know, you buy books in college. They'll throw, hey, having trouble paying for your books? They'll throw the little credit card application in there.
Oh.
And it was the same company that got me hooked on that in the first place. I think I went through, buying books every year, buying food, I was probably racking up close to $8 or $9 grand just in credit card bills when I got out of school. And so now that company, it's a shark company. The interest rate's it's like 20-something%. It's ridiculous. And they actually go after young kids to say, hey, look, we're going to ruin their credit at a young age so I can get them hooked on it and hopefully get some money out of them later. That same company reached out to me, didn't know who I was, obviously, didn't care, and said, listen, I want you to run an ad on your channel for this. What am I to do, Joe? What should I do? Because they're the ones that got me in debt in the first place, right? Granted, I got myself out through, I don't even know how that happened. But that same company, that same shark company comes and says, you know what? We want you for a second time. What do you do, Joe? What do you do?
It's interesting, right? Because they are preying on young people, and they do have like predatory percentages of interest that they charge.
Right.
But it's your choice, right?
Right.
I and also like the loans that I have the biggest problem with, the most problem, are student loans.
Yes.
Because you can't get out of them. You no matter what you do, you go bankrupt, doesn't matter.
They still want it.
Fuck you, pay me.
You die, your kids,
Fuck
hey,
you,
what's
pay
up,
me.
kids? Hey.
Yeah, they'll go after
You
your
got
kids.
Right.
They will.
Are we forgiving all student loans? Forgive me, I'm not up to date with what's going on. I thought we were, no?
They were supposed to. They're not
Okay.
going to. That was part of the Biden administration's promises coming in. They were going to exonerate people that were in prison for marijuana, and
Right.
then they were going to absolve student loan
Did we do
debt.
that yet?
No, neither one of those things. They're not doing shit.
Yeah.
It's
I
all
didn't think
nonsense.
so.
They don't even talk about it anymore. What? Huh? Who said that?
Who are you impersonating?
Not me. Who are you? What is it?
Yeah, where am I?
Yeah, those things are disgusting.
Right.
Student loans are disgusting because you're taking a kid who's real nervous about their life.
Right.
They want to do well, and they got to go to college. Okay, I'll go to college.
Right.
And then you're getting these incredible loans, which they're impossible to get out of.
Right.
You can go bankrupt. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't
There's
matter. They still
people
want their
right
money.
now that are getting their Social Security docked for student
Student
loans.
loans. That's amazing to me.
It's horrible. I mean, you're at the end of your life.
Yeah, right. You're like
You're
70,
in the
80
home
years
stretch.
old. Right. That's
and they're
it.
like, fuck you, pay me.
That's incredible, man.
There's no other loan like it.
Right.
And you're giving these loans primarily to people who don't have their frontal lobe formed yet.
Nope.
Which is crazy.
I was a child when a child.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what pisses me off is that a small selfish part of me hopes that they don't forgive the student loans because I paid mine off. Like where's you know you know what I mean?
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of people feel like that. Fuck you, I want my money.
I want money.
People feel like that about healthcare too. Fuck you, I
Yeah.
fucking paid. But I think we have to look at the big picture. And I think those predatory student loans are horrific for society.
I agree.
And they also make people make poor choices in terms of like what you want to do for a living.
Correct.
Because you just go into these jobs because you're overwhelmed with debt.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that has a giant effect on what kind of productivity you can sort of get out of your life. Because you can't really pursue your dreams if you have these overwhelming burdens of debt.
The money, right?
Yeah.
So I went to my dentist the other day because my daughter's in college now. So the big debate was whether or not she wanted to stay home and local and go to a Massachusetts school or go to the University of San Diego, right? So we went to
With that weather.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. We went to the University of San Diego, and beautiful campus, beautiful school. Everyone's great looking. Everyone's happy and friendly. Joe, you know how much schools go for now? Schools are stupid money now.
How much is the tuition?
You're looking at like $75K a year.
Jesus Christ.
Some schools you're knocking on $80,000 a year.
And what if you have 2 kids?
Yeah. What if you have 3 or 4? Like, what do you like? How are you supposed to?
That's so crazy.
If you're a regular person, how do you afford college? Either way, that's another debate. But she ended up staying in Mass. Thank God. School was a lot cheaper. We worked some stuff out. I went to my dentist and I said, my daughter's in college, and out of curiosity, we were debating whether or not to have her go to one school and have student loans or another school and not have any student loans, right? And she said, well, I have student loans. I said, okay. Well, how are you doing so far? She goes, I'm paying them. I'm surviving. My husband is a dentist, and I'm a dentist too, so we do well for ourselves. I was like, awesome. I was like, hey, I have a question for you, like, kind of personal question. How much money in student loans do you have? She goes, about 5 or so. I was like, $5,000. Like, I don't understand this. $500,000. $500,000. I said, is that even possible? I didn't think that was possible, Joe, but it's a very possible number.
So is that because of the interest?
That's because She's been out of school for about 3 years now, and her balance is about like $498.
Oh my God.
So that's putting her through. Like, I didn't run the numbers at first, but that's putting her through dental school, undergrad, living there, $500,000, Joe.
I wonder how many people force people or encourage people to get procedures that they don't really need,
Right.
because they need the money.
A lot of people.
I bet they do.
A lot of people.
I bet it's an incentive.
There's always, it's scary. Speaking of incentive, you always want to know what the incentive for something is. Like being
Yeah.
in the industry that I'm in now, it's so cutthroat. Someone always wants something from you. Like, I always think to myself, where's the sale? What is someone trying to sell me here?
Well, in terms of like the credit card company, they just want you. You're a popular YouTuber.
Right.
Put that out there. Maybe we'll
Right.
get some people to get suckered into our credit card.
Right, like you did. You know, like you did years ago. So the moral of that story is, I took the money, Joe.
Yeah.
I took the money.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that because it's laid out. It's pretty clear. You know, if you spend money, you're supposed to pay it back.
Right.
And if you spend money and there's a certain amount of interest attached to that, you're supposed to pay that back
Right.
too.
And you know what the numbers are.
Yeah.
You know the interest rate's high.
But that's not like school loans. School loans are crazy.
Right.
Because school loans, like you're 1 semester, 2 semesters, it adds up, stacks up, and then you're out of school 2-3 years and you owe $500,000.
Right.
And you know, what is she making a year? 200. So
Yeah.
she's like, how much is she? How
Not
long is it going
$500,000
to
a
take?
year. Right.
How long does it take her to pay that off?
If she has a house, good luck to you.
Right. And if she makes 200, she's also got to pay taxes on that 200.
Yep.
And then where the fuck are you going to get $500,000? Takes forever.
It's forever. Absolutely.
It makes people greedy and it makes people selfish because you're overwhelmed by this pressure. It's also got to be terrible for your health to have
Absolutely.
that looming over you.
Like, yeah, I mean, you have
$500,000.
you could have a house. You could have a house. I mean, most houses now are damn near $500,000 anyways, more than that. And now you think to yourself, you have $1 million in debt, assuming you buy a house for $500,000 and you have
Yeah.
another $500,000 student loans.
Oh.
And the rates are higher for student loans.
Yeah.
So you're paying serious money for that.
And if you have a job that you hate and then you have a dream of being a stand-up comedian,
Yeah.
that shit.
There's no way.
That
Good
shit's
luck
not
to you.
gonna happen, son.
Godspeed, man. Godspeed to you. Yeah.
It's not easy to get by in this world. This world requires like very smart decision making early on.
Right.
Because like a guy like yourself that is married and has children, the thing about that is like now you have dependents.
Right.
Now you have like you can't take chances anymore. You
No, you
can't
can't.
do some big thing where you're
Nope.
gonna start from scratch and move
Nope.
to a studio apartment and
Right.
rebuild your business. Like
No, it's not going to happen.
it's not happening.
Yeah.
Your wife will scream at you. Everyone will be mad at you. Why the fuck did you get us into this?
I
Like,
want to be a comedian. What's the big deal?
You
Follow your
suck.
dreams. Follow
You're
your
not
dreams.
funny.
What do you mean?
Call your boss.
I thought I was
Beg
funny.
for your job
Someone
back.
told me I was funny.
No.
Like, hun, I took a course on how to be a comedian.
Who wrote that course?
A comedian.
You ever watch his act?
No, I never have.
Terrible.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, that guy's teaching that course because he didn't make it as a comic. Unfortunately,
Oh, yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot of the people doing it. It wasn't with Francis Foster, the guy who was here yesterday,
Yeah.
but and he's in England. But
Right.
in most people in America, those courses are taught by failures.
So wait a second. So I guess there's two different schools of thought to everything. You can be a comedian, or you could teach people how to be a comedian. What makes more money?
Being a comedian,
Okay.
100%.
Well, if you're a successful comedian.
Yeah, but successful comedians don't teach people how to be comedians.
Gotcha.
Not here, at least.
Right.
I mean, they could. Maybe there's one or two out there that I'm not aware of.
Why don't they?
Because they're selfish. Also, it's like you have like to want to do that. Like you have to want to be a teacher of comedy.
Right.
Like if you want to be a person who also is dealing with delusional people, because unless you're screening your applicants,
Right.
there's stand-up comedy is a thing where you are either a funny person or you are not a funny person. If you are not a funny person, the odds of you becoming a funny person are extremely small.
Slim,
I
right.
wouldn't say it's impossible.
Right.
Because I've met people that I didn't think were very good in the beginning, and now they're really good.
Really?
I'm like, wow, that guy grinded it out, and he made it, and kudos.
That's even more work, though. I mean,
Yeah.
if you start off as reasonably funny,
Yeah.
you take your course,
Right.
and then you're funny. But if you suck,
It's
okay,
not even that easy.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like subject matter. You have to find topics, and then you have to massage those topics, and you have to do it in real time on stage. Like I write things, but what it is on paper before it becomes a joke that I could put in a Netflix special, like, whew.
It's a little processing.
Oh my
Yeah.
God! There's so much time and effort. There's so much involved in
So
that.
is that how comedians do it? I'm just when I start my career, you pretty much
Yes.
just you write notes down on your phone or whatever your
Mm-hmm.
iPad, and you just keep massaging those over and over again until it's family friendly? Like, how does that work?
Everybody does it different.
Okay.
Some people just wait for ideas to come to them, and then they just sort of keep those ideas in their head, and they try them on stage, and then they keep building them. And some really successful comedians do it that way. And some comedians write things out, and they write, and then some people write in joke form. I write in like essay form.
Right.
I just write about subjects.
Okay.
And then I take all the stuff that I wrote, and then I extract things from them that I think is funny, and then I try it out on stage.
How do you remember that stuff, though? My memory is, I mean, how do you remember? You have acts that are over an hour long. How does that work?
I have a good memory. Yeah. But these companies, like a company like On It rather, that makes Alpha Brain.
Yep.
These things, this is called a nootropic, and these really do help your memory. And there's not just Alpha Brain, which is something from On It that I'm a part of, but also there's some stuff over there called Neurogum that I use. We don't have any stake in that. It's just you
chew gum and it makes you. What does it make?
Yeah, it's got a bunch of different nootropics in the gum.
Right.
And so like when you chew this gum, it actually enhances your memory. It helps this stuff. See, I don't know what studies they've done on the gum, but I do feel a benefit in it. But with Alpha Brain, we did 2 double-blind placebo-controlled studies at the Boston Center for Memory.
Okay.
And it really does help verbal memory. It helps reaction time, your ability to form sentences. So it's provable results.
You think you're cheating, Joe? I have taken the pills for you to go up on
100%.
stage. You're definitely cheating.
Yeah, I'm cheating.
Most see that's
cheating with weed too. Weed cheats.
So you shouldn't see. That's the thing. So now you should sell that now. Sell it to all potential comedians that want to get into the game. Hey, take the Alpha Brain stuff.
It's not enough. It's not enough. You don't necessarily have to have a great memory to be a comic. You have to be able to remember your material, and since you've worked on it so much, you probably will remember it.
Right.
It's not a memory thing. It's a funny thing, and funny it's ethereal. It's impossible to grasp. It's just fucking. Is try to grab air.
So you can't be funny. So you think that people that learn how to be comedians that weren't funny before, they're just good orators. They're just good at talking and landing jokes. They don't have to be funny people. Is that what you're saying?
It depends. Some people are really funny people and they become great comics. And some people are not funny, but they know how to write funny.
Right.
And then they become great comics that way. They can become funny through their work. The thing is, like, there's a whole bunch of different kinds of funny.
Right.
There's like Mitch Hedberg funny, and then there's Chris Rock funny.
Sure.
There's Sam Kinison funny, and there's Jerry Seinfeld funny. It's like, funny is a weird thing. It's just like music, right? There's certain
there's genres, absolutely. Right.
And then there's Frank Sinatra.
I like that kind. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Do you like that kind?
Yeah, I do.
Do you like metal?
So I do like metal. Yeah. You know
Speed
what I like
metal?
more? I like speed metal. You know when you go into like a pit and you just start like
You like
slam dancing
moshing?
and stuff. I'm too old for that now.
Right.
But I enjoy watching the youth do it. Oh, very
Like
good
watching the news
Yeah,
collide
yeah.
with each other.
watching the youth collide, exactly.
Moshing has got to be one of the dumbest fucking things.
I can't believe that my daughter went to what'd she go to? Rolling Loud in Miami not that long ago, and she took a video of like the mosh pit, and I'm just like, how do you even are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You're literally just launching into each other and getting curb stomped over and over again.
Yeah. I used to date a girl when I was 21 who was into moshing. And
Yeah.
She came over to my apartment once and she's all dizzy.
Yeah, like, what are you
And
doing?
She just
It's
got out
brain
of a
damage.
mosh
It's
pit
brain
and
damage.
She got head butted.
Yeah, she got brain damage. Exactly. Like, what are we
Like, are you
doing here?
okay?
Yeah. Are you good?
She
Yeah.
was like, can I sit down? I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Did you guys break up because she passed away or something? She didn't make it?
It didn't work out
Yeah.
for various reasons.
Right.
It wasn't
The head trauma.
there was no bad thing.
Right.
It was just didn't work out.
Yeah, I gotcha. But yeah, no, it's wild. Like I've always thought about, comedy. Actually, no, I have a question for you, Joe.
Okay.
This can be a good one. Who's your least favorite comedian? A person that just is not like you are not funny. Like I say it all the time. I could say that because I'm not a comedian. I see someone go up on stage. I'm like, this person is not funny. I want to change the channel. Who do you have that reaction
How much
to?
time do we have here?
Oh, yeah. We have as much time as you want, man.
I prefer not to talk about people that I don't like. Because I
Understood.
don't think there's any positive to it, and I don't want to shit on them.
But are there people?
yeah, there's a lot of people that suck.
Gotcha.
I mean,
Okay.
But that's like, there's a lot of music that I don't like. When I'm in the car with my fucking kids and they want to play music, I'm like,
Right.
no, we're not listening to that.
Really? What-
Because
what-
I have to listen to it too.
What music do your kids like that you don't?
I don't even know who's singing it.
Right.
It's just nonsense.
It's not good. Yeah.
Just
jibber.
nonsense.
Jibber
Yeah.
jabber. Understood.
It's like you know, my kids are into some modern hip hop, and I
Yep.
try to play them like Wu-Tang Clan. I'm
Oh,
like,
that's the
listen to the
best.
fucking lyrics.
Yeah, but Wu-Tang Clan isn't exactly for the children either, though. It could get
Wu-Tang is for the children.
yeah. If it depends on who you ask. If you ask ODB, then yes, God rest his soul. But yeah, no, it's
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's yeah, Wu-Tang. I've heard some lyrics. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, I love Nas. I love great lyrics.
Right.
So like, lyrics in hip hop, it's like, I'm from the '90s.
I
Like,
know.
those days, like the cool G rap,
Yeah,
GJ
Cool G
Polo
Cat. Yep.
days. You know.
Yep.
The Ill Street Blues. Like, I love all that stuff.
See, I love that too, but believe it or not, Joe, I like a lot of the modern stuff too. Like, people hate mumble rap so much, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I hate it too. But I think the beats and the tracks that they're laid over are just amazing. I
There's
love
great
I
tracks.
love modern beats, and sometimes the lyrics don't really match the beat. But I try to ignore the lyrics and just jam out to the music itself.
Well, I think sometimes with those beats, it's like the lyrics are almost like it's just another sound that
Right. Yes.
accentuates the music.
Exactly.
But then there's still like Kendrick Lamar, who has
Oh, he's
killer
great.
killer lyrics.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like there's still great lyricists out there.
Absolutely.
You know, and Nas is still making great stuff. His last CD was great. Do you call it a CD anymore?
Which was CD?
What is it? Is it an album? Do you call it an album?
His last 8-track.
His
No,
last thing? His
I,
joint? What do you call it?
What for some reason one of my favorite ones by Nas was the one that Kanye West produced. Kanye West beats are just
he's the
top notch
best.
to me. So, but no, I like a lot of the modern stuff. I'm almost scared to admit it, but the mumble rap I kind of enjoy too because
Like,
again,
which guys do you like that mumble rap that you
oh
enjoy?
jeez, I like Future, big
Yeah,
Future
okay.
guy.
Okay.
I like Future. I like gosh, there's so many of them. Playboy Cardi. Big fan of. Like he just squeaks and makes these random noises on the mic. I'm just like, it's kind of annoying, but it's kind of cool to say. See, that's the thing. What they're doing right now, it might be cringe to a lot of people, but it's still art.
Right.
Dare I say, you know what? You don't like what he's saying, then you do it. Let's see what you sound like. Let's
Right.
see how you, because like this, he was able to rise to popularity for a certain reason. You
That's
know,
true.
there are people that do enjoy that.
Yeah.
And these people are still making millions of dollars. So it's like, he's doing something right.
Well, isn't there a thing where every generation complains about the next
previous one.
generations? I mean, there's people
Right.
that were complaining about like Led Zeppelin.
Exactly.
Like, this isn't music.
Right, or the Beatles.
What is this shit?
Yeah.
This isn't music. Where's the harmonica?
Right.
Where's the harp? There's always
Seriously.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm old. There's always going to be like a kind of new thing that the
That you
old
don't
people
like.
don't like.
Right.
Yeah.
Like EDM, electronic. People are
can't.
just like,
I can't.
you can't?
Can't.
Really?
No.
Okay.
I got no time for that.
I respect it. Yeah, it takes a lot of time. Each track is like 45 minutes long.
Also, like I've only done ecstasy once.
Right.
I just can't keep doing it.
Like the requirement is you have to have ecstasy before you actually enjoy
I
that
feel
music.
like there's
Yeah.
a lot of people out there doing ecstasy, and that's what like that was the Dead. I never understood the Dead, and my friends were like, "You got to do acid," and I'm like,
Yeah. Jeez.
If the music requires acid,
Right. It
But
can't be
s-
that good.
yeah, but some music does require drugs,
Right.
And then you get it.
What
Like-
music requires what drugs?
Okay.
Like what type of music requires marijuana? Is it reggae music?
Oh, that's interesting. Like a lot of music is enhanced by marijuana.
Yeah. Reggae.
Marijuana enhances a lot of music. Yeah. Could You Be Loved? Listen
man.
listen to that when you're high. It's like
Buffalo Soldier.
Oh yeah,
A lot of good ones out there. Yeah.
There's some great music that it's enhanced by marijuana, but there's
Isn't all music? I mean, marijuana enhances your senses anyway.
Yes.
So technically, wouldn't all music? Couldn't you enjoy all music more because of that?
maybe like Slayer wouldn't be good if you were high.
Yeah. It's like, whoa, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some,
Where's that coming from?
yeah. Pantera, some fucking wild, crazy fucking.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe like hyper aggressive music wouldn't be good.
Maybe because marijuana does calm you in a lot of cases. So I guess calmer
Yeah, maybe.
more music is better. Yeah.
I think you hear things that, like I remember the first time I listened to Seal when I was high.
yeah.
Like Kiss by
Kiss
a Rose.
by a Rose.
Yeah.
What-
you
what-
hear like all this sound.
Whoa.
Like there's like a symbol that's over here.
Yeah.
It's
Where'd
like-
that bird? There was a bird
Look
there.
at this
What is
awesome
that?
show.
What
Ima-
is this?
imagine
This
being
is
hi-
EDC.
imagine being high there.
They're all high, but they're all
Yeah.
high on.
I don't
on
think they're high on
ecstasy.
marijuana. I think they're high on
Yeah,
something else.
They're all high on Molly or something.
Yeah.
Let me hear this.
That's weird.
Yeah, the Lord doesn't want us to hear this.
Yeah,
That's
nope.
correct.
It's not working.
Copyright.
But like, look at the like.
I don't know why
The
I
guy's
don't
just pressing buttons.
Yeah.
Do you think sometimes they just pretend they're fucking with those things?
Absolutely.
A little bit.
A lot of times they
Those
just-
aren't doing anything.
Yeah, he's doing, but it's a lot of setup. For
Seriously.
this. He also set up all the lights. and
Like,
they-
sir,
they
that's not
timed
even plugged in.
everything.
I could tell it's not plugged in.
How come we can't hear it?
I don't know. Honestly, I would try to figure that out right now.
So you have this glowing. I can understand this. I know there's some that can, but I'm looking at this. I'm like, I don't know what's going on there. You know, there's a lot
you're
going
too
on.
old.
So is that a mosh pit?
I don't think it's a mosh
'Cause
pit.
they
I
have-
think
they
they're
have-
just jumping around.
There's like I saw a Morning Star there. Like people are getting hurt in that pit.
yeah?
Yeah.
What's a Morning Star?
Morning Star is the giant medieval weapon that has that. It's a ball that has the spike on
Oh.
it. Yeah, that you club people with.
People
back in
have
the day.
that?
I thought I saw a guy that had one.
What?
It looked just like it. Yeah.
Sure it wasn't a bong?
Yeah. See, look, there's a guy in there that has one for sure.
Where?
Right down. Oh no, that's the alien guy. Never mind.
What alien?
I could see the alien jumping over there on the left. It's a weird alien thing.
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
Everyone's all sweating profusely. They're doing drugs for sure.
Yeah,
Not
they're doing
judging,
drugs.
but they definitely are.
They're doing dance drugs.
Yeah.
Dance drugs are real. Like ecstasy is a dance drug. Look at her.
Oh, yeah. She's been doing that for hours. The same
Yeah.
move over and over again. Yeah.
But you
Like,
know,
what is that state? That's amazing. I would pass out. There's a lot going on there, Joe. Like
They
if
look
you-
like they're
if-
having fun.
There we go. I eat ass. See that guy?
He eats ass.
Why do you have
Someone
to?
let everybody
Why do you
know.
have the? So she's on something. Again, not judging.
That's a Kiss song.
Yeah, so that's how I found my way into it. I found people remixing songs I already liked,
Yeah.
and then sort of find some
So,
stuff that's
are they just-
See, I love that song.
Are they just stealing from other artists?
Well, are they? I mean, does it hurt the artist?
I wouldn't
If
say
it
this-
hurts the
yeah.
artist, they're stealing.
They get paid though in some cases, so it's not stealing.
Right. Yeah. Good point.
Well,
They get
yeah,
royalties,
the
go to
artist
them.
gets royalties. But
Yeah.
do the artist gets royalties if you just played at a concert like that?
They're supposed to, well,
Well,
that's
it's
part
an
of what
actual
you're paying
song.
for.
Yeah.
Oh, so like you have to license the music to
There's
be able to
like,
play it
yeah,
at a
that's
concert?
what ASCAP and BMI know. There's like,
I love you so. I
performance
love you. I
royalties
love
and-
you. I love you. It's so good. Yeah.
She loves everything. She
Jeez.
loves her dog.
Jeez
She loves her
Louise.
house.
Loves her cat.
She's high as fuck.
She really is.
You might clear a royalty or might get a clearance from someone though, and they could say you can't perform it live. And that would be like if you want to record it and release it, that's what you agreed to. You know?
Right.
I want to have that effect on people.
Do you?
Imagine that people just cheering and you know what I mean. It's kind of cool.
Probably wild. It's probably a wild feeling to be just on that stage and everybody's rocking out.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Have you ever thought about performing in some sort of a way? Like you obviously enjoy doing the YouTube videos.
Yeah.
You enjoy that they're very popular. Like, have you thought about performing in some way?
You know what? I haven't thought about performing, but I thought about I want to make screenplays. I really want to do that. I don't think I want to perform. I mean,
Really?
I've always wanted to be an actor. I've always wanted to be an actor.
Really?
And then YouTube is my way of acting. And I have a lot of really cool, well, I don't want to say cool, really weird videos that I've done where I integrate skits and comedy into the video itself. Like my favorite comedies, I mean, I love The Simpsons, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and, Arrested Development. Those are my favorite shows. And I always try to integrate some kind of really weird, cringy humor in some of my videos. Like I did a video where we didn't have a video. We have to make a video every week. And one week I did not have a video to make. All my cars were broken, couldn't get parts for them. I had to make a video that was entertaining.
Now, when you say you have to, are you contractually obligated?
I don't have to, but like that's my thing. If I miss a week, like I feel bad. Like doing YouTube videos every week, it claims relevancy. It keeps you relevant.
Right.
Because information travels so fast and there's so much news at once, you can be easily forgotten.
Yeah.
If you don't put away. If you take a break from YouTube for 6 months, good luck to you. Because there's 100 other YouTubers that popped up since then. But during that week, we didn't have a video to make. And I was approaching the 1 million subscriber mark. And I said to Steven, like, hey, let's make a video based on the 1 million subscriber. Everyone does, hey, I hit 1 million. And they throw a pizza party, all this crazy shit. I said, you know what? Let's make a 1 million subscriber video. But what do? I said, what's the cringiest thing we can do? And I said, let's do this. For the 1 millionth video, a 1 million subscriber video, taking my 1 millionth subscriber's wife out to dinner. Dude, that video, we filmed literally everything. We filmed me getting ready for the date. I got dressed up in like my IT guys outfit. I had a button-up shirt. I had like.
How did you make the decision to take the wife, not the person?
Because it's funnier.
Oh, okay.
It's weirder. It's
it's
weird.
weird,
Yeah, because
yeah.
like taking my millions. Hey, what's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Right.
No. You take his wife to dinner, and I'll tell you, it had absolutely nothing to do with cars whatsoever. And that was the scary part, is that like this is a car channel.
Right.
Car channels are probably one of the most expensive channels to run. You have a video game channel, you could make millions just playing video games. If you have a makeup channel, you can make millions just putting on lipstick, right?
Right.
For car channel, you have to buy the cars, fix them, build them, upgrade them, etc. Right? Now for
Yeah.
this, I was like broke as hell. I was like, I don't have any money left. Let's figure something out. We did that video. Surprisingly, out of nowhere, it was one of the most successful videos I've ever done.
Really?
Because it was just
So weird.
And the wife, she wasn't an actress. Everything that I had to do was improv. I got her gifts. One of the gifts was a vibrator, and it was seriously. And she had no idea what we were going to give her,
Right.
but everything was improv, and it was probably one of the most fun times I've ever had.
Really?
It was amazing. I had Steven, my right-hand man, he was filming everything, and he was filming our live interaction. She knew nothing that was going to happen, and she just played along. It was perfect. And so I enjoy doing stuff like that. I enjoy awkward humor and awkward situations, for
So
sure.
have you thought about doing more kind of videos like that? Like different
Yeah,
scenarios?
we did another one that was wildly popular, too. We found a car from a girl on Tinder. It was supposed to be a Tinder date. And she had a car like in her profile that I wanted to buy. It was, you'll have to watch it. It was actually I thought it was pretty entertaining. But I'm starting to steer a little bit more away from the car stuff. And then just do a little bit more like sketch random comedy and stuff. So we have a lot of different random things that we do. But what I really wanted to do was, so there's the car side of me, and then there's the comedic timing side of me. I actually want to do a screenplay. I guess to get more in touch with my, I guess you could say, I don't want to say, sensitive side. So there's a couple issues that, you know how a lot of issues that you have built up, you could do through comedy.
Right.
If you have an issue, you could do it through artistic art. So there was, I wanted to do a screenplay on something called The Faceless Man. I'm going to give this whole thing away. It doesn't really matter. I'll probably never make it. But The Faceless Man is someone that you see every day, but you don't recognize him as a person at all. You just see him every day. He's like a blank face. Okay, I see that guy. That's great. There was this guy that worked at Starbucks, right? I used to go to this Starbucks every day, and I look at him, and you could immediately see when someone doesn't belong in a certain scenario, right? You could tell when someone's an outcast. So he was there. He was probably like a 35, 40-something-year-old man, a little overweight, kind of awkward. And at Starbucks, there's always these young, hip, sprightly people. Hey, can I get your order? Hey, what's your name? They write your name wrong, make all these jokes. He kind of stuck out as the person that no one really talked to. So I go there every day. He's awkward. People are just like, whatever. I don't really care about him that much. And you could tell he was not like the others, right? I would see this guy walk home every day, just like a regular guy, but he wasn't cool. He wasn't with it. He worked at Starbucks, lived in an apartment by himself, and this is like part of what I wanted to portray to people. There are people that we don't really recognize as people that we just pass every day that are like suffering inherently. You know what I mean? He's not like anyone else. He's socially awkward, doesn't have a girlfriend, and he makes minimum wage. So as a guy in this society, as a man in this society, it's hard to, if you can't provide, right?
Right.
What are you really doing? You're socially awkward, you can't get a girl, make minimum wage. In today's culture, it's all about who has the most money. What can you do for me type of thing.
Right.
So if you have for example, I think like 6 of my friends, they all found their wives when they were either living at home with their parents or in a small apartment, right? It's like, hey, come live with me, we'll get married, start a family, live in a nice big house. You never see it go the other way. Who is this awkward guy that makes minimum wage? Who's going to take him and say, hey, listen, let me make something out of you? Like, what's his fate? So as time went on, it was so awkward because I could tell he was uncomfortable. I wanted to approach him and say, hey, what's up, man? Like, what do you say to that? Like, how did two guys become friends? What do I say? Hey, how's it going? Like, how are things? Like, can I talk to you and not come across as weird? That's hard to do that, right?
So you just kind of got this in your head just from going to this Starbucks and seeing this guy on a regular basis.
Exactly. So 'cause I know there's people that are out there that are just quietly suffering. They live alone.
Yeah.
They don't have any friends, and they're just weird. So one day, I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk to this guy. I'm going to talk to him. Ended up getting a phone call. Didn't end up talking to the guy. I saw him walking home. I live in a small town, so I know where he lived. And I didn't see him for like weeks. Went to Starbucks. Hey, is this guy still here? They're like, no, he left. So and so and so. Turns out, did some more digging. They found him dead in his apartment.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So
when did they find him dead?
I looked at the news. I think it was after I stopped seeing him. I think it coincided within 3 days of that.
So did he die of suicide, of an overdose?
I have no idea.
No idea.
No,
You didn't look into it?
because they wouldn't. I don't think they would release that because he was like a nobody.
right,
They
right.
just said they found a body. They wouldn't release the autopsy and say, hey.
Jesus.
So like, what do you? So
Maybe he ended it.
maybe. So that's the problem. So I
Yeah.
think I wanted to make something based on. There are people out there like that. You know, men have 4 times higher than women's suicide rates. I want to
Yeah.
talk about, hey, listen, this is the faceless man, the guy that you never would think of talking to. Everyone's suffering in some way. So I want to do something like that. I think
What would be the way you would do it, though? Like, what would you try to get out of it?
that's the hard part. This is the part I've been struggling with for the longest time. I don't know how to end it. Because
He's still him.
as much as I want to say, I mean, I'll have other characters. I'll have him in my head. He has a mom, and his mom, you know, she smokes 10 packs a day.
Oh, so this is like your screenplay.
Yeah. So
Right.
the actual story of what happened is that is actually true. But me adding the characters, obviously, that's part of my screenplay. So I want to make a story about him because he's a faceless guy.
Right.
Like he lives alone. His parents probably passed. If he dies, no one would notice. The biggest thing is this. What story do I tell? Do I tell the story of him passing away and no one noticing? And that's super dark. Because he did die and no one at Starbucks knew. They just thought he just didn't show up for work one day.
Right.
And that's the scary part. Do I tell a story that's based on if you pass away and you're the faceless man, no one would notice, which is sad, but it's also the reality that a lot of people face.
A lot of people.
And that's unfortunate. Like, I don't know how do I make that into a happy story? Do I make it into a happy story, or do I just tell the truth? Like this man that was suffering by himself had no one, and he passed away, and no one knew the difference. How do I make that happy? Like, and do I even tell the story? These are the kind of things that I think about. I think about, you have like this new thing now where like influencers are selling like their underwear,
Yeah.
or they sell actually.
Yeah.
One woman sold her bath water. Seriously, I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah. There's one where a girl was selling farts.
She was farting in a jar so much that she actually got to go to the hospital.
But do you believe that?
I do.
I don't.
Because people buy it. Oh,
Yeah,
the fart thing, no. But the bathwater thing, I absolutely believe.
Oh,
yes.
the bathwater thing,
Yeah.
I think, was probably real.
Yeah.
But like, if you're a woman that's willing to sell your farts,
Right.
you're probably not even really farting in those jars.
You're probably not. No,
'Cause
absolutely not.
Can you get a fart in a jar?
You can't. No, that thing will dissipate. You won't smell shit. She's probably
You
shitting
sure?
she's probably shitting in the jars.
But if you fart in a jar, is it possible to seal that bitch up so quickly?
No, most of it would escape.
Most of it.
Yeah,
Would
you
it be a
figure
scent, a possible
you figure
whiff
you know
of a fart?
you figure your balloon knot's only so big.
I bet if Joey Diaz farted in a jar, you could smell it for years.
You're like a time capsule. So
It depends on what kind of fart. Like if you're a grown man
if
fart.
it's wet and some liquid falls in
Ooh.
there, then yeah, you're fine. Just seal it up. You'll have it for 10 years.
But just the air, you do have some air in that jar.
Right.
And if you just seal it real quick. I mean,
Right.
if you fart, especially like, doesn't it rise?
It's gonna escape, Joe. It's gonna escape. It always escapes. It's just air.
gas.
Yeah.
But wouldn't some of it stay in the jar?
It could be obviously fake, but there's a funny TikTok video where a kid farts in a jar and buries it.
Yeah.
And then digs it up a few days later.
How's
or
it
weeks
smell?
later.
How's it smell?
Well, everyone he's showing it to gives a bad reaction, but they could just be acting. For the
Yeah. What the heck? I want to know how that ends.
You'd actually have to smell it.
I might actually do that.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
but yeah, so they sell the farts in the jar,
Right.
and it's like
Influencers.
and that's what they do. So he would be the faceless man. It sounds weird, and I always had a thing where whenever who's the target audience for buying farts in a jar? Who's the target audience? The fart jar.
There's a fart jar to capture your baby's farts for safe sentimental keeping.
For how long?
What?
How long does that
How do
last?
you know when your baby's gonna fart?
I don't know.
Just keep that thing annoying your baby.
It's like I think this
Oh,
is
this is
a
a
real
parody.
product.
What do you stick it in your
This is a
how do you do
joke,
it? That's no way.
This is a joke.
Okay, maybe it is.
This
Why?
is-
Why is it only baby farts? Like
Yeah.
how do they?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
oh, you put it. Oh, you put it in
put it
there.
up the
I
butt.
don't-
Oh
That's-
shoot.
That's
I don't think so.
crazy.
Hold on.
Yeah.
That is. What are you doing to your kid?
Yeah, I don't know.
Fucking
Nah,
weirdos.
yeah.
Well,
This
I
is
guess
a
you could take their
clever-
temperature at the same time.
This is a clever
parody.
thing. Yeah.
It's parody.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. That's what I want to do. Like he'd be the target audience for that.
So, but why is this loner, this like type of outcast person so interesting to you?
Because it made me, I felt awful
For
about
him.
it. I felt awful that I didn't. There's some people that are okay being alone. And that's
Right.
fine. You live home until you're 100 years, that's fine. Some people aren't. And I guess I want to tell the story about the people that aren't really talked about. No one really talks about lonely guys that live by themselves that society considers as outcasts because they don't make enough money to support and take care of a woman or a family.
But is that why they're an outcast? Is that the only reason why? I mean, many of them, I'm sure, have like social issues and
Correct. Yeah.
anxiety and
But some people, I mean, if you're, body image stuff, if you're kind of awkward, overweight guy doesn't make much money, it's hard to find that ideal partner in a lot of cases because in today's day and age of social media, everyone paints these images of who they want to be with.
that's true.
If like I actually had a question for you. I'll ask you after this, but my daughter, for example, like she's super young, but she wears a jacket. Like it's 100 degrees out in back in where you live. She wears a jacket where she goes. And even though it's 100 degrees outside, she still has that jacket on because, she's a young girl and her body is changing, right? So the reason why she wears the jacket is because she's so self-conscious about how she looks.
Right.
And the reason that the main issue for that is because of social media and body image expectations, right?
That's real.
So which it's real and it's scary. So my thing is I think social media is the devil, even though I make money off of it. The thing is, explaining someone's life story like that, like the faceless man, is something I want to portray because I know a lot of people suffer from that. A lot of people have issues, and they're looked at as society's outcasts. Like I'm sure you pass by people every day. They're just like,
Sure.
oh yeah, whatever.
Sure.
It's mostly the fact that I think everyone is suffering in some way.
A lot of people are suffering.
And you never really know. I mean, people like, he could be the happiest guy in the world, and you could be gone. Like Robin Williams, for example. Super happy guy, but it's just like,
Yeah, but he had like a serious issue. He had the thing called Lewy body syndrome.
right.
He also had a heart attack,
Mm-hmm.
and because of the heart attack, he had open heart surgery. And when you have long-term anesthesia, like
Right.
multiple hours of anesthesia, a lot of times your hormonal system is completely disrupted, and a lot of people
Right.
become very depressed after that.
And those are those are things that the average person wouldn't know.
right.
They see him as the happiest guy in the world. They would pass him, hey, this is a happy guy. He's a movie star. This is awesome. He's doing great.
Yeah.
But everyone's suffering from something that isn't always in the public eye, is what I'm saying. You know what
The
I mean?
thing about a guy who's working at Starbucks, it's like when you're working and you're making a very small amount of money, barely enough to take care of yourself, you have to like if there's a thing you want to do other than that,
Right.
how do you even do it?
How do you get out of that hole?
How do you get out of that hole? Because you're check to check every week.
Right. Like even my daughter, for example, she's when she gets out, she's gonna make great money, I'm sure. But dude, you know how much houses cost?
Houses are ridiculous and getting worse, right?
You know how much houses cost? How do you break that cycle? If you make minimum wage,
Right.
How do you break the cycle and get into something and then all of us? Because a lot of women are lucky in the sense that hey, if you're attractive and you're nice and sweet, some guy will pick you up.
Oof.
You know?
But do you want to rely on that?
No, you don't.
I mean, you could get lucky and meet a great guy,
Right.
Or you can meet some abusive
Some
piece
creep.
of shit,
Right, exactly.
or someone who steals from you.
But there is an option. They do have. Hey, someone's gonna say, "Hey, look, you're kind of cute." It could either go one way or the other. That guy has no choice.
Right.
No
he's
one's
not
no
gonna-
one's coming for him.
He's not going to find a gigolo.
Probably not.
He's not going to find, well, a gigolo's a hooker, male
Yeah.
hooker.
Yeah.
Wrong, a male sugar daddy.
Right.
I mean, who's he going to
Well, he
find?
might. No.
Maybe.
That's what I'm saying.
That's his only option, or a female sugar daddy.
Right.
Sugar mama. What is he going to do? Yeah,
That's
and
it.
what does he want to do? What did he wish he would do?
Right.
And what led him to be there in the first place? But that's a depressing ass story.
So how do I end it? I need your help, Joe. How do I end that story on a good note that tells a message?
You
Because
end it right here and right now, and don't do it.
There you go.
It's
it's
an
a
uncomfortable reality of
it's-
people.
But that's the story I want to tell. You know how this happens all the time, where it's your mom will say, "Oh, you're so attractive, honey. You're gonna find someone," and they always give you that false sense of security, like, "Oh, my mom said it. I'm sure it's gonna be fine." Someone might gas you up and have a yes man that says, "Hey, you're gonna be okay."
Yeah.
Guess what, Joe? Some people aren't okay.
No, a lot of people aren't okay.
Some people are lied to incessantly to make themselves feel better, or the person saying it feel better. But a lot of people aren't gonna be okay. You
Also,
know?
what you're talking about with social media, you're dealing with the expectations of a lot of people that what they're putting out is not even accurate.
Right.
So you're judging yourself by an inaccurate depiction of other
Right.
people's supposedly happy lives where they might be a fucking mess.
Exactly.
I mean, so many people, what they want to put out on social media, they want to pretend that
Right.
everything's hunky-dory and their life's
Absolutely.
amazing. And,
Absolutely.
you've
Yeah.
seen those memes of girls that are pretending to be on these vacations and,
Right.
and you see the guys who are paying for the vacations.
Yeah, it's like some old guy.
Yeah, big fat
It's like
guy.
some big fat guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
tough, man. I mean, I wish I know the conversation took a turn for sure, but I think about that stuff. Like, there's a happy side, I mean, there's the dark side of things.
Yeah.
There are people out there that don't have it so good.
Well,
know?
you're a nice guy, Rich. You're a sensitive guy, and you're thinking about these people that are fucked.
I'm a sensitive man.
But
sensitive man.
those people are fucked, and
Yeah.
that is a hard situation to get out of.
Yeah. It's a
And
hard
you'd
reality.
have to know the person, know what's wrong. How did it go wrong? What do you want to do? What do you
Right.
wish you were doing? How'd you get to this spot in the first place?
Right. And then it's-
what are your options?
But that's the thing. I think we're lucky in the sense that right now we could say, well, what do you want to do? You could do whatever you want to do, Joe.
yeah.
You can do whatever you want. So some people, it's like comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you work your ass off, after 10 years, you can still be in the same spot. No matter so you working hard has no correlation between working hard and success, which is
Well, you have
unfortunate.
to think hard, and then you have to come up with actual, real solutions to very complex problems.
Right.
That's life. Life is not just about working hard. You can
No.
work hard as a laborer and be poor and die.
Right. You can
And
lay bricks all
that's
day.
it. All
Doesn't mean
day, and then one day your body stops working.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also real. Or you could start a masonry company and start
Right.
doing well and hire employees and do a good job and
Right.
meticulous work and be known for it and develop a reputation and have a nice business and
Mm-hmm.
have fucking barbecues and cookouts and your family comes over
I'd love
and
to
then
go
you
to
live
that.
your life
Absolutely.
and you have a great life.
Right.
But what is the difference between the person who just stays a laborer and the person who figures out how to start their own company? And there's a lot of variables in there.
Right.
Decisions and
Some people don't have it in them too. I think
Mm-hmm.
the unfortunate part is that not everyone could be a CEO.
right.
Some people are just workers.
That sucks.
Yeah.
We don't want to say that because you want to say everyone can make it.
That's that's the problem we're in right now, though,
Yeah.
Joe. It's
No.
like, oh, yeah, you're going to be fine. You're the most handsomest boy in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to find a great girl. Guess what? Mom died. Didn't find a girl yet. He's 50 years old.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
Everyone there's participation trophies and there's multiple ways of people feeling better about themselves. But sometimes there's hard truths that, hey, listen, these things might not happen for you.
Right. What do you concentrate on, though? I mean, and these people with these hard truths, I mean, a hard truth person in America is probably way better off than the average person that's living in a third world country,
Absolutely.
which is even more fucked.
I know.
Well, when you find out that, when you look at the number, when you say the 1%, if you make $34,000 a year, you're in the 1% of the world.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, how about the U.S.? What's the 1%er in the United States?
That's a good
Out of
question.
curiosity. I
Let's
don't know what it
guess.
is.
Let's say a guess. You want to say it's like, you think it's like 200 grand? What do you think it is?
I think it's
What's
like
the number?
250.
250?
Maybe, yeah.
So,
That's incredible, Joe.
yeah. Well, let's say 250.
Yeah.
Let's say 250. What do you think it is, Jamie? If you had to guess.
I have a feeling Jamie's looking it up right
I'm
now.
looking it up, but I haven't hit the enter button yet. That's probably close to that.
Okay.
Maybe
let's-
even higher. But
Okay, let's
Yeah.
see what a 1%er is in the United States of America. 1%, top 1% of income maker.
yeah, I was gonna say 400 just to be different, but it's higher than that even.
Really? Half a
It
million?
says it's almost 600K.
Wow.
Really?
Wait. How many? Is it a single? How many family? How many people in the home?
American family. I don't know. So probably two.
Oh,
adults,
okay.
two
So that'd
kids.
be a husband and a wife, and okay. According
So-
to a recent study finance website Smart Asset, an American family needed to earn $597,815 in 2021 to be in the top 1% nationally.
Okay, but how big is that family? You could have a family of like 30 people living in the same. Like, how does
No,
that?
I think it's like 2 people. I think it's like a husband and wife, or a husband and a husband, or a wife and a wife, right? Income inequality, top 1% of the U.S. what they make.
All right,
But
so
that says 350,000.
I'm
Oh,
trying to find it.
538. Okay, so it's pretty close.
so household
2020
income is 201, individual is 129.
This one says single earners 357,000.
Wow.
Okay, so $357,000 for a single earner. That is a fucking great job.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money to be in the top. But 1% of the world.
There's a lot of people in the
34.
United States too.
Country, yeah, just country.
Yeah.
Right, but in the world though,
The
it's
US
34,000.
Really?
Yeah, 34,000. That's how bad the rest of the world has it.
Well, you can
average.
Weren't there some people that used to want to live on the beach in like Taiwan or something for like $29 a month?
Yeah, some people don't want to be a 1%er. They just want
Right.
to relax. They just want peace and nature. There's a lot of people that's what they want. Or you want to be like a subsistence person. You just
Right.
want a plot of land that you can
Live off eat berries all day.
you fucking grow your own vegetables and have regenerative farming and composting. And
Right.
I don't know how they make money, but
Yeah.
you know
Maybe buy a Tesla or something.
what?
This is a
Save
lot
the world.
higher. Their net worth is over 11 million though. That's quite a bit higher than
That's
their
a
earnings.
lot. So is there any actual truth to this at all?
11
Like
million
who-
net worth. So that means like your house and the stuff you have and stocks and shit.
Jeez.
And so but that makes sense. So if you're making $600,000 a year, that you've been working for 30 years,
Right.
You might have some assets.
10%, 2%.
That's
oh,
a lot
jeez.
of fucking money.
So I'm probably like, let me see. So 10% is 1.2 million. I'm probably a good maybe 30% or so. So I'm up there. I'll get there. Yeah. Joe, I have
the
a question.
haves and the have-nots.
Joe, what is the one tangible thing that you could remove from this world that would instantly make it a better place? What do you think that thing is? You could remove one thing. It can't be a feeling or a little happiness or world hunger. Tangible.
It's a good question. Where would you go? Would you go with environmental? Would you go with murder? Would you go with war? What would you go with?
I'm probably gonna get crucified for this, Joe, but I think guns.
Guns.
So I have guns, right?
Right.
Here's the thing. I wonder when you think about wars and shootings and things like that, would not having any of those weapons of destruction actually help things?
Do you know what the Mongols did without guns?
Oh, all kinds of disgusting things.
They killed 10% of the world's population during the Genghis Khan's life.
But in modern times, though,
Right.
What would
But
people
that
that aren't
would be-
soldiers? Yeah, people that aren't soldiers in modern times, would there be no more mass shootings? Like how would
There'd
you?
also be no more police protection.
But it would force people to know how to fight. You'd be in fisticuffs left and right.
You'd have to
People would go
constantly be in shape.
People would go to the poor thing. Poor Americans getting in shape. Could you
Yeah, but
imagine,
you have
Joe?
to,
Oh,
learn how to
that'd be
fight.
terrible.
And even if you learn how to fight, there's physical limitations. The gun is the great equalizer, where a 90-pound woman can shoot a 300-pound man and kill him because he's trying to get her.
True, but I think at a larger scale. Let's just wait. Aren't there some countries that don't allow guns? I think the UK, England, for example. Can you have guns there?
It's very hard to get a gun in England. Yeah, I mean, I think you can get some sort of a hunting rifle.
Right. So what's most of their violence based on?
Knives.
Knives.
A lot of
Getting
stabbings.
stabs up. Are there mass stabbings though? Can you stab 38 people?
I guess you could if you were on a subway and you
Yeah.
just went ham.
Right. Better than a gun though. Again, I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm wondering what thing could you remove to make it better? Would that make it a better place? Would it
It
not?
would make it a better place for the people that didn't get shot.
Right.
But isn't it really what is causing a person to do that? And would that eliminate that? Because
Right.
when you think about a mass shooter, a mass shooter is when you were talking about your Starbucks employee, I was like, maybe that guy's a mass
Yeah.
shooter.
He's probably gonna shoot the place up at some point, right?
A lot of those folks are the ones that are disenfranchised from society and severely depressed and angry and
Right.
lash out at the world.
But is it better for them to lash out with their fist though?
I don't think they would.
No, they wouldn't, because they're probably not in shape either.
Well, they would get killed by other people.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if that.
But I wondered that for days now. Would that make the world a better place? I mean, people would obviously find something else to mess each other up with.
You probably would have less food too, though. because you wouldn't be able to hunt food.
You'd have to use a bow and arrow, Joe. You could use that. Use an
know
arrow to
how
cut
hard that is?
elk. You know, launch like 3 arrows in them. 4 arrows.
You got to get close.
Yeah.
It's not that easy.
No,
I think,
it's not.
I think the gun thing, look, it would be, if you could eliminate gun violence from the world.
That's easy. Yeah, of course.
That would be
Right.
an amazing thing. But you know that more people die from 2020 from sticking things up their ass than died from AR-15s?
Really? I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that.
It's a fact.
You know what? They are not right. Funny story, but story. I have a friend that's a nurse, and a man came in with a chicken, and the chicken was on his lap, and the chicken was going ape shit, right, in the waiting area.
Because the chicken was stuck on his dick.
Exactly.
Yeah. I knew that was coming.
But
'Cause
people
I know men.
But people, I know. Is it a warm hole? I'll take it. Yeah, right. So that's the thing. So well, here's the fun part. What do you think happens to the chicken?
Well, how did he get all the way to the emergency room? Like, how much did he want to keep this chicken alive?
Well, he probably couldn't get it off. Once that
Jesus
chicken clenches
Christ.
up on that thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
When if you kill the chicken would relax?
So here's the thing. So they went there, and she's like, "Well, we're not a vet. We don't have the tools to sedate this chicken." So I think they gave it a very small dose of a sedative that go to a human. Gave it to the chicken. Chicken died.
Wow.
Didn't make it. That's the sad part. But I had so many questions. Like,
fact check on
what happens to the chicken out there?
It did not surpass AR rifle check in 2020?
That's what this says.
Okay, what does it say here? 2020, there were 287 cases of people dying by putting foreign objects in their anus.
It's a lot.
So that's not true? This is what the post looked like on Facebook at the time of the writing. And what is the actual number
said
of people that died from things in their butt?
Well, that wasn't
Oh,
that. It was more
fifth.
people died from a rifle. I don't know. That
Yeah, but
the
that's
AR was-
2015 to 2019. That's 4 years. If it was 250 people a year, that would be like the same amount
It
or
said they
close
couldn't
to
get
it.
the data for the years they tried.
So here's
Okay,
the
hold on a second.
Yeah.
So include AR and other assault style rounds. Lead story efforts to reach FBI for 2020 data were unsuccessful.
so they don't have the information.
They don't have the information, but if you're looking at 2015, 16, 17, 18, and 19, that's 5 years of total number of
Was
people
1,500,
killed.
yeah.
Was 1,500.
And you had 1 year 300
Yeah.
for anal deaths.
That would be close, but like, what are the actual numbers of people that have died by putting things in their ass?
That's what it was. It was
320.
Is actually
287 in that year.
287 cases
Yeah.
of people dying?
Yeah.
The crazy part is, who writes this down? Is that like a cause of death, anus? You know what I mean? Like, how does... That's the amazing part.
So this is definitely wrong in terms of how many people have been killed by ARs in the last 5 years. What I had seen, it was a 1 year thing. So in 2020, there's 287 cases of people dying by putting foreign objects in their butt. But when you look at people that have been killed by rifles, it was
Right.
how many people?
Well, why don't you just ask, how many people were killed in 2020 by rifles?
But here's the other thing.
Weird.
When it says, okay, according to FBI, murder by rifle, the total number for those 5 years was 1,573 people. Rifle is the statistical category that includes AR and other assault-style rifles. But, like,
It also says they reached out to a board-certified colorectal surgeon, and he doesn't know of a database that
Yeah, that's what
tells
I'm
you the
saying.
number of.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Anal
Like,
deaths.
how does he even know? That's amazing.
yeah, that could be just a fake meme that somebody
Right.
just wrote down.
Right.
I know people have definitely died from stuff up their butt, and people have definitely died from ARs. But I think that
you know people have died from their butt, really? Like,
no,
know them?
No, I know that
Oh,
it's
okay.
real.
But that's
I had
pretty
a buddy
cool.
Of mine.
A buddy of mine.
I had a buddy of mine that was a surgeon. He was an ophthalmologist, actually, and he did
Yeah.
his residency in Miami during the cocaine days of the 80s.
Yeah.
And he said they were always getting people with the, like, G.I. Joe dolls, light bulbs, all kinds of stuff stuffed up their butt.
Why? Why the light bulb? Like pleasure?
I think people do things to hurt themselves. Like there's a video that I saw once, unfortunately, called "One Guy, One Jar."
Oh, I saw. Oh, Joe, don't say that.
Yeah,
The jar broke.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I couldn't do
Why?
that. Never watched
Why
that
did
again.
that guy do that? What kind of like pain was he in? Like,
Yeah.
what kind of psychological? Maybe it was the guy from Starbucks. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, poor guy.
Like, why?
Yeah.
Why would someone do that? Why would someone put a G.I. Joe doll up their ass? Why would someone fuck a chicken. Like,
Right.
what's wrong with people?
Yeah, the chicken I kind of
Might
understand.
be
I would.
better to come up with a screenplay for the backstory of someone on your mom's house videos. Like, just pick a video,
Right.
come up with the story on that guy.
Yeah.
Well, have you ever seen the documentary Zoo?
No.
Well, it's about people that have an attraction to animals.
Oh God.
There was a guy who died in Seattle, in Washington State, in like the early 2000s, and he died getting fucked to death by a horse.
Jeez.
And
I mean, you only last. Horses are hung.
yeah, but
So that'll
this
kill you.
guy had been fucked a bunch of times by horses.
Multiple horses, or just like a gang?
bunch
thing?
of different horses. You know,
How do you train the
This
horse?
is-
Yeah.
what happened was there was like this online group.
Oh,
I think
no.
it's called zoophilia. That's the psychological condition.
Yeah.
Oh, is this the
What
Yeah,
what
that's
an
the
image!
documentary.
What an image, huh?
Yeah.
So this is the documentary about the guy, but the video.
Oh, the guy's in his eyes. Oh God,
Yeah.
I don't know about this. Is that the guy, a reflection of a man in his eyes?
Yes.
A naked man?
The video is called Mr. Hands, and you can find Mr. Hands, the video online, and you can actually see this man get fucked by a horse. And so what happened was they brought this guy into the emergency room,
Yeah.
and the doctor's like, what the fuck happened?
He had no organs left, pretty much. Yeah, at that
He got
point.
blown out, and this investigation was opened.
Oh no! What
Yeah.
an image! Thank you, Jamie.
Yikes!
Thank you very much.
Whoa. Yeah. So, Mr. Hands,
Yeah.
that's just to show how a horse's
Yeah.
anatomy.
compares?
What a strange image placement for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the guy died, and then they made this documentary called Zoo.
Yeah.
The documentary is very interesting because it's about a real group of people that one of them they met online, and one guy had a farm.
Yeah.
And so they invited all these other people who were also into getting fucked by animals onto this farm, and then they filmed it, and they had hundreds of hours of people having sex with animals. Yeah, because in Washington State, I think up until the time where this happened,
That was okay, right?
it was
to do that?
legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like only a couple states where you're allowed
Yeah.
to fuck animals.
Go Washington. Thank you. Jeez, for closing that loophole.
Freedom.
The,
America, freedom.
Yeah.
That's the guy?
yeah.
Kenneth, how do you say that name?
Anal.
Pinion?
Pinion.
Pinion. A Boeing
Aircraft engineer? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness! You had a life for you.
He died from injuries sustained received from during anal sex with a stallion. I like how it says stallion.
Why
in
is it all caps? Yeah, right.
During the sex act, filmed by pal. I like that it says
James.
pal James Tate. Pinion suffered a perforated colon from being shafted by the horse and later died from it. Prosecutors determined that the horse had not been injured by being allowed to engage in sex in this manner. According to the medical examiner's office, Pinion died of acute peritonitis due to perforation of the colon. Yeah, it was ruled accidental. How's that accidental?
Well, he said he refused to go to the hospital
yeah.
for several hours.
And yeah, he's like, no, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm good.
fine.
That's the thing. So Kenneth, right?
Yes.
And his friend James filmed it. How do they, like two guys just having a conversation in a room? How did James know that Kenneth was into that? Like,
I think they
how does
met
that come up?
online. I think they met in
Like
a
a horse- like a
forum,
horse chat room?
fucking chat room.
God,
yeah,
this horse fucking chat rooms?
there's probably everything.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Jamie, can you find one?
I'm
I'd
sure.
rather not look.
I bet
Yeah.
if you go to Reddit, they
Yeah.
can steer you in that direction.
Reddit has everything, right?
They could probably like let you know that these things are real. I think it's a psychological disorder where people are
Want
like,
to hurt themselves? Yeah.
they also want to get fucked by animals, like specifically animals.
Just find like a hung black guy or something.
Because I don't think it's I don't think it's the person wanting to fuck an animal. I think it's the animal. They want this animal to fuck them.
Right.
Like, well, there's a lot of women that have been like, wasn't that a Marie Antoinette? Who's the woman that like died from getting fucked by a horse? It was like a famous, or maybe it was
I
just
didn't know
a-
that. Is this like there's more than one of them? There's like multiple people, I'm assuming.
There was like a famous historical, like royalty person.
Was it
who
accidental or was it like, whoa?
It might not have even
There's
been
a
real.
story of Catherine the Great.
Catherine the Great, that's
supposedly.
right.
Yeah, I don't know. So this says she did not.
Yeah, wow. That sucks. Yeah.
Somebody has been.
Yeah, absolutely.
That guy definitely has been, and
Right,
probably
Kenneth.
a
Poor
lot
Ken-
of people
Poor Kenneth.
all throughout history have been fucked to death by horses.
Right.
It's probably not a uncommon thing.
Maybe a zebra or a giraffe or something. That would really.
Boy, you got to get a zebra relaxed
Yeah, they're usually
Like,
pretty cool. They buck like crazy.
They don't want to stay in a stable.
Right.
They're wild.
right.
You know?
You can't hold them down.
But there's, I don't know why we brought this up. I guess it's like the loner,
Wait,
sad
How did we
type
get here?
person with, the human mind is a weird, pliable, flexible, and really it's unpredictable thing.
Right.
Like people like all kinds of shit. You take a baby with their genetics, and then you a lot of life experiences, a lot of trauma, a lot of this, and then what does it wind up at 54? Well, this guy
Clearly,
winds up getting
Kenneth.
fucked by a horse.
Kenneth, I always remember that name. For some
Some
reason,
people they're doing crack in the the back parking lot of a McDonald's.
Right.
It's like what causes that guy to be the Starbucks employee that's
Right.
alone and dies in
Right.
his apartment and nobody
Right.
misses him?
Right.
What causes that guy to get fucked to death by a horse?
Who knows, man? There's got to be
Yeah.
some imbalance. I feel like the guy at Starbucks is a normal guy, and I feel like the guy that wants to get railed by a horse and killed by it eventually is. I don't think he's all there. Is he a normal guy?
Meanwhile, he's an engineer.
He's a Boeing engineer.
Yeah. So meanwhile, he's like designing planes and shit.
That's got to be a black mark for Boeing, though.
According to the story, they found tape, hundreds of hours of tape seized.
Yeah. That's what I said.
Whose horse was
Sorry, I
it?
missed that part.
Can you just get a horse? Yeah.
Hundreds of hours.
You blocked
of
that
tapes.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
trauma.
I think they had a lot of people coming over.
Well, it says it was just these two guys.
What? Just
Well,
these
it
two
said- I
guys?
guess I shouldn't. It says it's frequented by men who engage in sex acts with animals.
Boeing must be pissed.
There's
Like,
one
come
of
on,
17 states where it was
Yeah,
allowed
Boeing
at
would
the
like
time.
us to shut the fuck up
man. Yeah,
about
seriously. Boeing comes cease and desist
this. Hey,
pretty
I
soon.
would stop.
Yeah, I guess you're
Stop
right.
talking.
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the internet chat rooms of people who want to have sex with livestock. Livestock specifically. So it's like
Like sheep and stuff.
farm
Well,
animals.
I think those are the only animals you can get to fuck you. Like, it's probably a wild animal. You can't even get them to sit still.
That and they're well endowed too. Horses are pretty well. You could train a horse pretty well. A zebra, good luck.
You can't train not when he's trying to fuck you.
You could
If you watch the video, it's
Yeah.
horrific.
Really?
Yeah, because you look at the dick is as long as my arm,
Yep.
and then you look at his body and you do the math.
Yeah.
You're like, where's it going?
Out of his mouth.
And it just goes
Right.
right up there, and the guy makes a noise that you only make when you're getting fucked to death by a horse. There's a
Yeah.
like you can't
Thanks for
fake
repeating
that
Joe. I
sound.
appreciate that. You're pretty good at you're good at that. You have the
Thank
engine
you.
sounds down. You're pretty good, Joe.
Thank you.
Nice.
Talented.
Yeah. Multifaceted.
That's why I'm here, not working at Starbucks. It's
Right.
sad life.
Yeah.
Some people, they look, man. That's the unfortunate reality of human existence, right?
Just said he did have it was obvious, but
Duh.
Yeah.
mental
He's
ill.
mentally ill. Duh.
Yeah.
They states the bestiality or zoophilia, like other paraphilias, non-standard sexual desires and practices, is a diagnosable disorder if it causes clinically significant stress or impairment in social, occupational, or other important areas of functioning.
He had a whole ass job as an engineer. That's not easy.
Yeah.
Engineer for Boeing.
Right.
You think he planted like some like horse penises on the plane every once in a while? Something?
Probably not.
Yeah.
It's probably like sticking to his job, and
Right.
then he'd get off work and just look for something to fill that hole.
Yeah. He's
no
like,
pun
hey,
intended.
hey, Kenneth, you want to hang out? No, I got something to do later. I got
Kinda
somewhere for me at
busy,
home.
Just like to be around animals.
I got a lot going on.
He's like the guy's just really into nature.
Right. So you bought a horse, Kenneth? That's kind of cool. What are you gonna ride it? Nope.
I don't think
Go
it
to
was
ride me.
even their horse. I think it was someone else's horse. So I think the guy who brought him to the hospital actually wind up getting charged with criminal trespassing.
Because he stole the horse.
Is that
Yeah.
true?
Yep, that's the only charge there was in the case.
Yeah.
Because you can't charge the horse, according to the.
Right.
But can't you isn't there like a law protecting animals? Because you can't do that.
Well, that's a good point.
Or maybe if
But
he,
in Washington State, there wasn't a law.
I'm wondering,
Yeah,
would,
it's like
would,
helpless animals is what the law says, or something like that.
would it have been different if he was the pitcher? If you know what I mean.
Right. Then it would be different, right? Because then you're fucking the animal.
But there's still no consent. That
Right.
horse didn't ask to put. You know what I mean?
That's true. Well, they just grabbed the dick and put it right in the guy's butt, and the
Right.
horse was like, fine. The
Right.
horse just wanted something warm.
Hey, Jamie.
Consent is not in the law.
I was gonna
for
say,
animal.
really?
That's in this article. They've
I
already
was-
talked about all.
How
things
did you
you're
know I was
digging
going to
up.
ask you that? I was just going to
This is
ask. Can you look up the
encyclopedia.com.
laws
Look
of
at it,
consent
says-
for horses?
Expressions of concern for animal consent, in quotes, do not seem to be consistent with the terms of U.S. law. The notion of animal consent does not appear anywhere in law. Animals may be legally castrated,
right,
hunted,
yeah.
or butchered, all without their consent.
Good point.
As long as animal cruelty statutes are not violated.
What is the animal cruelty? Actually, it doesn't matter. If you have your head cut off, you could stick your penis
Yeah.
in a man.
I mean, like, obviously killing an animal's cruel, right? So, like, we buy meat from an animal that's killed.
Right.
it's obviously there's some kind of cruelty depending upon, particularly if they do it like, I think kosher practices are some of the most cruel because they just slice their throat.
Right.
Like for an animal to be kosher killed, I think they have to eat a certain type of food.
Yep.
And then the way they do it is like
They
one
have to be slaughtered
slice.
in a certain way too?
I think so. I think it's like one slice with a very sharp knife.
Is that why it's so expensive?
Definitely
the-
has a factor. It's
Yeah.
like because if it really is kosher, I think it actually has to be blessed by a rabbi too.
They have to be there.
The rabbi has to be there during the slaughter.
He has to
Does
cut.
the-
He has to kill it. The rabbi.
Witness it maybe at the liver. I don't think they have to do it. I think they have to witness it. Or
Well, let's Google it. What is involved in kosher animals? Like what makes like when you buy kosher hot dogs?
Yeah, I'm not going to knock anyone's beliefs, but that seems a little strange to me.
It's strange.
seems a
It's
little
strange
strange.
because it was created before they figured out how to kill an animal instantaneously with like
Right.
that piston to the head that they do with cows. Jewish law states that the meat to be considered kosher, it must meet the following criteria. It must come from ruminant animals with cloven or split hooves, such as cows, sheep, goats, lambs, oxen, and deer. The only permitted cuts of meat come from the forequarters of kosher ruminant animals.
Where does
So
the
you
rest
can't-
of the meat go?
That's a good question.
the non-kosher
you can't
people?
eat the rear, like you can't eat the hams, the back legs,
You can't
the
eat
quarters,
the, can't
rear
eat the
quarters.
ass.
Certain domesticated fowl can be eaten, such as chicken, geese, quail, dove, and turkey. The animal must be slaughtered by a shochet, a person trained and certified to butcher animals according to Jewish laws. The meat must be soaked to remove any traces of blood before cooking. Any utensil used to slaughter or prepare the meat must be kosher and designated only for use with meat and meat products.
So if you're kosher, how do you go to a restaurant?
That's tough.
You know?
I mean, I ate dinner with Ben Shapiro, and he eats kosher, and we all went to a restaurant. I don't think he ate anything. He might have
Yeah.
brought his own food.
His own pot. Hey, I brought my own meat. Thank you.
Yeah, it might be
Yeah.
one of those deals.
Right.
That's a fucking commitment.
Imagine can you be vegan and kosher? You'll die. You wouldn't make it very far.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Can you be vegan and kosher? Google that.
Yeah. A lot of questions getting answered here.
Well,
Thank you
listen,
very much.
you're a curious guy, Rich.
Thank you.
That's why you're interesting.
Speaking of curiosity, my second screenplay.
Oh, okay. What's your second one?
The second one is
Hold on a second here.
Yeah.
Simply put, all vegan food is kosher. Oh, okay. There you go.
Oh shoot, okay.
But it depends upon how closely you follow kashrut, vegan kashrut, whatever how you say it. Vegan food may fail to be kosher due to preparation by non-Jews with non-kosher equipment.
You have to be Jewish to prepare the food?
Yes, and without kosher supervision. Since kosher laws prohibit the mixing of milk and meat, a vegan meal has nothing to worry about with this.
That makes sense.
So you
'cause it's an
can't
animal.
mix
Okay.
the meat. So because you can't mix milk and meat, cheeseburgers are out of the question.
Wow.
Yeah. In summary, it says there's no contradiction between Judaism, its dietary laws, and veganism. In fact, as argued above, veganism appears to be the diet most consistent with the highest Jewish
highest
values.
of Jewish values. Okay, good.
Okay.
That's good to know. We learned something today. Good stuff. Second screenplay.
Okay.
This one is about a person that is naturally very curious about the world,
Okay.
and this person is constantly asking questions like, why does it work this way? Where does money go? And this came up for me personally because there was a few scandals where I live where someone was major money embezzlement, misdirection of funds. For example, if someone pays you X amount of money to do things like make sure the roads are paved, that money went someplace else.
Right.
So I think this one's a little bit simpler. It's more of a person asking a lot of questions that don't have answers to it. For example, there was when we say that a company mismanaged funds, right?
Right.
And they have to pay a fine. That company has to pay a fine of, let's just say $100,000 or so, right? Or
Okay.
actually, that's not a lot of money. $20 million, right? Where does that $20 million go? And that's what I'd like to know more of. Because once someone says, hey, you got to pay, you got to do something, how does the money flow through the organization? Because as people, as humans, we're flawed. Like we could be biased, and there's not a lot of controls in place for mismanagement of money. So once the company that is that law takes that money, where does that money go? Is that money really managed properly? Are there people that are mismanaging that money as well and using it for their own benefit? Like, I always wonder that. Like there's times where we look to authority for answers for things. A long time ago, I own a house that I rent out, and the guy was dealing drugs out of that house. Dealing drugs out of the house, not a very good thing. Dealing drugs out of the house.
Are you responsible for that?
No, thankfully I wasn't. What happened was the cops came in, raided the house, broke the door down, broke both doors down, found the guy, and said, "Hey, listen, you're coming to jail with us." In the news, the cops confiscated all these drugs and I think about $60,000 in cash, right?
Right. Where's that money go?
Not only that, the tenant actually called me 3 weeks later and says, "I am so sorry about what happened." Really nice guy, really weird. Paid his rent on time. He was an awesome guy. Paid in cash. Yeah, really sad what happened, right? I wish he could have stayed.
He was a great tenant.
Yeah, great tenant. So they destroyed the house. He goes, "Hey, just to let you know, I'm going to pay for everything. I'm sorry. I'll pay for your broken door because, sure as shit, insurance isn't covering it. Can't go to the police either."
Right.
He covered the price of the door, covered the repairs to the apartment, and he goes, "Just to let you know, yes, I was. I was doing drugs out of the apartment. I was selling them. I'll also fix the walls for you." He goes, "Just to let you know, when the police came, I had $160,000 in cash hitting in the walls, hidden here, hidden here." He goes, "The police only reported a fraction of that."
So they stole the money.
So that's what I want to know. Like, where does there's
Of course they do that.
the only times that you hear about things happening, like even dare I say even Epstein, is when someone gets caught.
Right.
I want to know what else is going on that we're not aware of. Like, there's these overarching scams that people have been running for decades, making hundreds of millions of dollars that we don't know about. Like, how are they doing those things without the public eye knowing?
Well, I think most of those things people don't get caught.
Right.
I think we only find out about the ones where people got caught. Hence this story about your tenant. I feel like that's probably really common. Like if they rob a drug dealer, and these cops are tired of this bullshit. They're not getting paid enough. People are shooting at them. And then you see $160,000 and like, well, 50 for you. 50
Yeah,
for you,
don't tell anyone. Yeah, right.
And then you take your wife to a nice vacation,
right?
You buy a car, whatever.
Right. What would you do, Joe?
With the corrupt money?
Yeah,
that's what this show on HBO Max.
Oh yeah,
it's based on a real case in Baltimore.
Yeah,
the cops were doing that.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh well, they fucking Baltimore's super corrupt.
So that's the
Probably
one
all over the country that's happening right now as we speak. If you catch someone who's selling something illegally and they've got cash, what is the incentive to turn all that cash in?
So I've always wanted to follow major companies and say, hey, listen, how is this money being redistributed in the company? Like, are there hidden millionaires that we don't know about, people that aren't in the public eye, that have amassed all this wealth due to illegal activities that aren't drugs? You know what I'm saying? Like just money laundering and scandalous things like that. Yeah, but I want to follow that. But I think the premise of it is going to be a glimpse into what their life is like. Once you make a few $100 million, what's your life like? For example, I'm sure you have a few bucks, right? And you are a normal guy, right? You're a normal, nice guy. You're not nefarious. You don't want to kill people. We assume a lot. We assume that when someone makes $100 million or $200 million, they're going to do things for good. They'll donate to charity. They'll start a business or something. What are the multi-hundred millionaires doing that aren't very nice people? You know what I'm saying? You know how there's like evil people out there, just inherently evil people? What are people that are rich that use their money and spend it in a negative way doing? Is it something like Squid Games, for example? Do they actually do things like that? Is that real?
I'm sure there's people that do that in other countries where they can go somewhere and hunt a person.
Right. That's what I kind of want to focus on. The people that make their money nefariously and aren't quiet about it and use it for bad purposes, like Epstein, for example.
Yeah, or Russian oligarchs and evil people. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
I mean, I think the problem is when people get into that business of just making money, and that's what they're concentrating on. They just want more and more and more,
right?
And you never fill that hole.
Right.
And then you also have to like buy things, I guess. So you start buying yachts and mansions and fucking jets, and then you need that money coming in.
I think Bezos did. He built like the biggest boat in the world.
Yeah,
and it's just like sitting there.
Well, he built a boat that they were going to have to dismantle a bridge
Like a historic
to get
bridge.
it through
yes.
in Holland.
And they were
but
like, no.
the blowback was so heavy they decided to not do that. So I
Right.
guess they have to like get the boat out of the shipyard and then rebuild it somewhere else or finish building it. But
That
it's
sounds
so
very
big.
expensive. Yeah. Sounds expensive.
But it's a fucking ridiculously long boat. It's like a 500-foot long boat or something like
who
that.
do you bring on that boat with you? With
all the
with,
bitches.
With the,
all the bitches. All the coke. Suitcases of coke.
It's a lot of coke, Joe.
EDM. The whole crew.
Morning Stars, you name it.
Yeah, the whole deal.
Maybe a horse. Is that a horse? What's that horse doing
Yeah.
here? Oh God.
What does he do with all that money? It's like, I think when you become a person that's just chasing money,
Right.
I don't think you never get that fix. It's like
Yeah.
you're always just wanting the newest, latest, greatest thing.
Right.
I was talking to this person who is they're like an attendant on a yacht, on a super yacht.
Yeah.
And I was asking her, I was like, well, what does the guy who owns the yacht do? And he was like some telecommunications guy in another country.
Yeah.
He's got, billions of dollars.
Interesting.
And she goes, you know what's interesting? She goes, all of these yachts are all for sale. I
Huh.
go, really? She goes, yeah. They're always trying to get newer, better ones. So they buy this yacht, and it's, like worth $50 million.
Right.
And then they're like, I'm not good enough. And then
Right.
they want a $70 million yacht. And then they see their buddy who got a $100 million
How-
yacht.
how- how-
look at Frank.
How is yacht technology advancing that much? You need the latest one so soon. Like, what's the difference between a yacht that was made 2 years ago and the one that's made today?
That's a good question. I
Like-
know they're
like touch
super
screens?
expensive to run. I have a friend who owns a yacht.
Yeah.
And he got an older one, and he's like super successful producer of television shows
Oh,
and
nice.
films and stuff like that. He's
Yeah.
very, very wealthy.
Nice.
But he
Is it
buys
Dick Wolf?
older one. Nope, I don't know
Okay.
that guy. Law and Order. I bet he's
I
got
see it all the time.
multiple yachts.
Is it Dick Wolf?
That
Right.
fucking show.
Right.
Those shows are the dumbest shows.
Yeah.
And everyone
Infinite
watches them.
money. Infinite
Yeah.
money. Forever.
They have like 18 versions of them.
Yep.
They've
Yeah,
been going on forever.
Law and Order,
Thousands of episodes.
Law and Order, Your Mom's House, Law and Order, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, in many ways, it's like this endless pursuit.
Of
You-
happiness.
if you want money, if that's all you want out of life is money.
Right.
Like, God damn, man.
I feel like that yacht buying, I think that's money laundering, Joe. I think it's money laundering. I think people are just, I read somewhere that one of the most frequently purchased things in cash are like large boats for some reason. And they use it as a way to like launder money and they sell the boat later.
That makes sense.
Maybe it's money laundering.
That could be for a lot of cases.
Yeah.
For sure. I don't think Jeff
Yeah.
Bezos is laundering money, though.
I don't think he is, no. Not
No.
him.
But you know what I'm saying? Like,
But he might be. Maybe he's an evil billionaire.
Ooh.
Maybe he
he's
is.
Gru.
Yeah. Is Gru really evil though?
No, not really.
He's not evil, yeah.
He took care of the girls.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those things where human nature never gets satisfied. The human nature of the hunter-gatherer is to sort of like acquire social status in the tribe and to become a leader and like that's what those guys are doing. And they're just doing it on this bizarre economic scale where they're talking about thousands of millions, right? They're
Right.
talking about billions of dollars, and they find ways to spend it.
Right.
Instead of like having their needs fulfilled and saying, I'm just going to get a nice house
Right.
and I'm just going to have a nice piece of land and I'll never have to work again. No one does that.
So let me ask you a question, Joe. So that kind of relates to you, in a way. When do you love what you do? You're a super busy guy. You're always either here doing this, some comedy show, or running some business. How do you know, and I struggle with this, how do you know when to stop?
It's a good question.
Like when is, I'm at the point where I just always want to work. My main goal in life, not a very big goal, but I never want to have to go back to working a 9 to 5 ever again.
Right.
And that is a goal that's been embedded in me for so long because I see what my life is like not being in the control of someone or a company or making someone else rich. I see my life now. I never want to go back to that again. Mm-hmm. I'm at the point where hopefully I won't have to go back, but YouTube's one of those funny things where at any moment it could just kind of fall the rug underneath you and you have to figure
Yeah.
something out. You know what I mean? So like
That is a weird thing. What is it like working for a company like that?
Oh,
and,
God.
and having that be a primary source of income?
I guess you'll never know, Joe. I guess you'll never know. It's a weird thing where YouTube is incredibly competitive. And there's something now that's been taking over YouTube for quite a few years now that's actually terrifying. It's something called clout. What's happening is they see nowadays kids don't really give a shit about being a doctor or a lawyer. They want to be on TikTok. They want to be twerking on a boat. They want to be popular. They want to be known.
Right.
That's clout. What's happening is I reached out to a buddy of mine, and he put me in touch with this guy that needed help. He was a multi-millionaire, and he had a son. And he said, my son wants to start a YouTube channel. I said, why? Why does he want, like, he has endless money. He goes, my son wants to do this because he feels that it's going to give him more life experiences, right? The guy's multi-million dollars, his dad. He goes, how much is a good amount of money to start a YouTube channel? Is $100,000 or $200,000 okay? All people want to do nowadays is they just want their name out there. It's not even about the money.
Right.
There are people, the actual celebrities, have reached out to me saying, hey, can I be on your channel? Like, I just want like a 5 minutes of fame just so like I get my face and name out there. I'm saying to myself, it's not about the money anymore, Joe. People just want clout. They want their name out there. They want to be popular, and they want to be seen.
There is something to that. Like, I've had some very wealthy, successful people that want to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
Because I think they're fans of it, and they just want other people to see them on it.
Exactly. They want to be. Everyone wants to be a star, and I've seen this even on the channel in general. I had a guy come over that sold me a car, and he knows I make videos. He said, "Hey, you know, I don't want to be in any videos. Like, I just want to sell you this car and leave." I said, "Okay, that's fine." I said, "Well, I have to shoot something really quick about the transaction for this car." I go, "Do you want to just be in it for a minute?" He goes, "Absolutely." He goes, "That's fine, whatever." I had the car in the air to look underneath it. The second I turned that camera on, Joe, he started making all these jokes, being lively, talking, dancing, promoting his promoting his Instagram, making all these off-color jokes. It's amazing what a little bit of fame, I guess you could say, could do to someone.
That's his time in the sun. It's time. My time is now. I gotta take it.
It's amazing. It's all about clout, Joe. People just, it's not even about money anymore. It's just like, hey, listen, I want to be seen. People will do anything for the clout to be popular because they see what kind of fame and fortune going on YouTube could bring. You have like Jake Pauls and stuff that make crazy money starting from this platform. Everyone wants to be on that level as well. And even people that have sworn to me, I don't want to be famous. Once they get a taste of that fame, of that drug, Joe, once they're walking out somewhere and someone says, "Hey, don't I know you? Hey, I think I know. Didn't I see you from this?" Right. It drives them crazy, and they just want more and more. I probably know, like, on my hand, 3 people that aren't like that. The second they're in I want to be in the video again. I want to be seen again. What can this do for me? Hey, can I promote my Instagram channel on your YouTube real quick? A guy came over wearing a shirt that had his Instagram tag on it. I said, "Don't do this, dude. Don't do this to me." Yeah, it's crazy. Clout's crazy, Joe, and you can't buy swag. You can't buy being cool.
No.
But people want to do that.
Yeah, they think it's going to work. And they think maybe that'll help them transition out of whatever they're doing and they can become a Instagram influencer.
Right. Or what's next? If you're a millionaire, if you have all the money in the world,
right?
What's next for you? You could buy whatever you want. You can't buy being cool.
Right.
So I think that's the next step for them. I think they want to say, "Hey, I want to be seen now. Now that I can buy whatever I want, but no one knows who I am." There's plenty of millionaires no one knows who they are.
Yeah, I know a guy like that. He's a billionaire.
Yeah.
He really wants to be famous.
You can't. Yeah.
It's like,
what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what's the next logical step? You know what I mean? So
you see that with people that like they have a company and they do their own commercials. They're in their own commercials.
Why are you doing that, dude?
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't
just
be like
hide.
this.
You should be hiding.
Right.
Yeah.
But they want to be seen. They want hiding your yacht. And but yeah, no, YouTube. It's interesting, man. It's super competitive, especially in the car space. Everyone wants to rebuild a car.
Yeah.
And now my competition, because when I started out, when I did the first Tesla, that thing was $14,000. I scraped every penny that I had, savings, whatever, panhandling, you name it. So I had that car, and that's how I built the channel. 14 grand. Guess what? I needed another few grand to do this. Took out a savings, 401k, you name it. I made it work. Nowadays, entering the car space, there are kids that have checks from their parents for 100 grand to buy a car to work on. It's incredible. There are companies that have always had money that say, "Hey, listen, we want to do this now." There's companies that aren't cool but want to be cool in that space to promote their product and will throw whatever money it costs at it.
My advice to you would be not think about that because you're already cool.
Yeah.
What
Thank
you
you.
should do is, I enjoy your show.
Thank you
That's
very
why-
much. Thank you.
I watch it all the time.
Thank you.
I think a guy like you should just concentrate on being you and ignore all that shit. As
Yeah.
long as you're making money off of it, and you
Yep.
clearly are, don't worry about it. Don't
Gotcha.
think about competition. I don't think at all about competition.
You
with
have competition,
podcasts.
Joe? You have competition?
I'm sure there's some out there.
Okay. I
It's
didn't
like
think there was.
4 million podcasts.
Yeah, but they're not big. It's not,
Well-
it's not the Joe Rogan experience.
I don't know how this got big.
Yeah.
It got big by me just doing this.
It might
I
be.
do
It might
zero
be
promotion.
It might be you. It might have something to do with you, Joe. I think it does.
Whatever it is, I'm going to just keep being me then.
Right.
Because it's like, if that's the formula, but imagine if I start thinking about my competitors and
Right.
what are my competitors doing and how do I
Right.
keep a leg up on my competitors. That's
Yeah.
wasted resources and energy.
Absolutely.
That's not how I got here in the first place. I got
Right.
here in the first place just by being me. And I
Right.
think you got where you are by being you.
Thank you.
And I think you should spend zero time thinking about other people unless you're enjoying their show.
Yeah,
that's
that's not okay. Yeah. All right.
Unless you find someone you go, oh, I like his show.
Right.
Like there's a lot of people in the car space. I really enjoy like Chris Harris.
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah, he's
enjoy
great.
Matt Farah.
Yep,
There's
he's
a lot of
great.
people that are cool.
Right.
I like watching their shows. I mean,
Right.
if that's what you enjoy and you enjoy it for that,
Right.
like I don't think of other comedians as being competition. I think of them as being other artists that I enjoy their work.
Right. Do you see it as there's enough room for all of us to eat?
Yes.
You think it's as that? You can have
Yes.
million comedians, right?
Yes.
Gotcha.
100%. And not only that, the more there are, the better it is for everybody.
So you don't think that it gets saturated? Like, that's my fear. You don't think it gets saturated sometimes because you have, especially for a show, there's 50 different shows to watch, but you only have an hour's worth of time.
If I thought about that, I would be fucked because there's 4 million podcasts.
Right.
Right? So if I thought about it, oh my God, what if it's saturated? What if I'm
Right.
going to fall off?
Right.
I don't give a fuck.
I might start one.
Good.
Yeah. Hey,
Start
guess what?
one.
The Rich
You'd be great
Rebuilt
at
podcast.
it. Look, you're good here.
Yeah, I'm all
Why
right.
not?
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Give you some,
Yeah.
give you some competition.
Give me some
Knock you
competition.
off that pedal, Joe.
Dude, you could do it. You 100% could do it. You're great on this. You were great the last time I had you on.
Thank
You're great
you.
on your YouTube channel. It's not
Thank you,
much
thank you.
difference. It's just you being a person.
Good point.
So just like Matt Farah, like he's a podcast too.
Oh, he's great.
Started his show doing YouTube videos, started
Right.
doing a podcast afterwards. Anyone can do this.
Right.
This is not just got to be an interesting person. You're already that. So
Thank you.
Bam. Just don't
Thank
think
you.
about other people.
Okay.
Fuck all those other people.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
Not literally, but just
No, don't
forget,
fuck them all.
Forget,
and don't let
forget
them fuck
about
you
them.
either.
Right.
What you should do is just like enjoy what you enjoy and do what you do.
Right. Thank you.
It sounds so simple, and it's not advice that I would give to the Starbucks guy.
Yeah. No. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What would you even tell him, Joe? Let's just say some dopey guy that makes $12 an hour comes up to you and says, "Hey, what do I do? I'm sad.
Yeah.
No one likes me."
I would probably
Start a
try to
podcast.
get
Start a
him
podcast, buddy. Start a
to
podcast.
do something physical that he's interested in because I think that would excite his body.
Right.
And like maybe, pick up rock climbing or something, like anything where
Right.
you have a purpose, like a
Gotcha.
hobby that you enjoy.
Good point.
And then maybe one day you could turn that purpose or that hobby, that thing that you focus on that you actually like.
Just some money.
Yeah, maybe it could become what you do for a living.
Right. Good point. Good point. Is there hope for everyone, Joe? Do you think there's hope for everyone, or do you think people are just hopeless?
I think that depends on the choices you make, the circumstances you find yourself in, luck. There's a lot of factors.
Right.
Obviously, there's no hope for anyone to live forever.
No, definitely
We're
not.
all going to die, right? So
Definitely
at
not.
some point in time, you're going to run out of hope.
Right.
The hope is that you left enough love behind and you were kind enough to a lot of people that remember you fondly.
Good point.
And that you left a mark, I guess.
Yeah.
If that's important when you're dead,
Right.
is it?
I mean, yeah, I'd like to.
Yes.
I mean, I have videos of me out there, so yeah, that'd be
Would
kinda
be
cool.
nice if people remembered you in a fond way.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you're not going to have any idea.
Is it true that if it's either you die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain? Is there any truth to that?
I think
You
with a
go through-
lot of people, that's probably the case.
Yeah.
I mean, what if Jim Morrison was still alive today? Would it be an idiot?
Right.
Who
True.
knows?
Yeah.
There's a lot of old people that just become deplorable.
Right.
They don't like them after
Right.
a while.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, man. I don't think there's any like set thing in life that you definitely will be or will become.
You bring up a good point. When you say old people, I think that's a fear that I have personally. I fear becoming, I guess you could say, old and irrelevant. Yeah, like an old, like old and in the way. You know what I mean? Because I mean, again, social media life, it moves so fast. How do you not get left behind is my biggest thing. How do I not become that old guy in the corner that's just yelling at kids to get off his lawn? Because I'm at this point, I'm older.
Right.
Like I'm not that young, hip, cool kid that's in his,
Right.
late 20s when I started out. Now I'm a bit older and a little bit more mature now. How do I keep that same spirit? You know what I mean? How do I not become, what I swore to destroy, whatever that means?
I think you continue to enjoy your life, continue to have good friendships and good relationships, continue to do things that you're passionate about,
Right.
continue to do things that are exciting. Because one of the things about doing something that you're passionate about is it's very contagious.
Right.
Like I will watch someone do pottery if they're
Really?
really into it. I'll watch someone paint. I'll watch someone make furniture. I like watching people that are into it. I like watching people take apart watches and finish them and refurbish them.
Right.
I don't know why. Like
It's cool.
ASMR where they're not even talking.
Right.
You're just hearing the sounds and everything.
Right. They're just-
I'll spend
just
fucking
moaning.
45 minutes watching some guy
Right.
take a watch apart and put it back together again. I don't know
Right.
why.
Yeah.
I like when people are interested in things.
Right.
I think other people are as well. And I think that's what people get out of your show, that you're clearly fascinated and you're in love with cars. You love them.
I do.
Like when you're barreling around that fucking Corvette,
Yeah. Yeah. I
you
know.
could tell.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
it.
look
I
at
love
your
that thing, man.
smile.
I
Look at
love
your
that thing.
smile
It's starting to
immediately.
get- yeah, right.
Like immediately,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
had
yeah.
an uncontrollable. You smile with your whole face.
I do. I love that car, man.
Yeah.
I love that thing.
Fuck yeah.
You have the cars that invoke emotion. You know how that goes. I just love that thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Well, that is the argument against the electric car,
Right.
right? Is that it does, but I guess it does with some people. But I think they probably never driven a Corvette.
No. No, but they'll be like, it smells and then
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, my
that's it.
wife says that, man. I have a 1970 Chevelle, and I took her out to dinner with it.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, it's so loud.
Oh,
it's
it smells-
bouncy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah." I'm like, "Babe,
Yeah.
come on. This
Yeah.
is the greatest fucking car ever."
Yeah, right. Tell her to take two separate cars then. Tell her to drive
Yeah.
your Plaid and you drive that one.
No.
Yeah. See who gets more looks.
It's just some people like different things, but if you like something,
Right.
just continue to like it. Look, fucking Jay Leno's garage. Like Jay
That's
Leno
insane.
should be irrelevant after leaving the Tonight Show.
Good
No
point.
one should give a fuck.
That's a good point.
He's more loved
Right.
now because of Jay Leno's garage.
He has a lot of money too, though. To be fair, he
That
has
helps.
A lot of money. That helps.
But it's also what he spends his money on is clearly not for clout.
he has an impressive garage, man.
It's
That's-
not just one.
Yeah.
There's 11 of them.
I know.
There's 11 warehouses filled with cars.
That's
I've
amazing
been to
to
it.
me.
It's fucking nuts.
That's
man.
amazing to me, man.
When you go to see it, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, are there tours for it? Can I be invited on this show somehow?
I bet you could get on it with your Tesla. I
Yeah.
bet 100%.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
Maybe I could even arrange that.
That'd be kind of sick.
Yeah, because
I think
I
you'd
bet
like
you
it.
would love
it's
it.
sick. It's so sick.
It is sick.
Yeah.
You'd have to transport it to California and drive it around Burbank
So
with
be
them.
it. So
But
be
that
it.
wouldn't be
It's been
that
in California
hard.
before. Yeah.
That's probably a great move for you because that would be a really good show to be on because that guy fucking loves cars.
And you could tell he's
Yeah.
passionate, right?
Yeah, he doesn't wear makeup on that show.
Right.
He doesn't have a fucking stylist. He's wearing jean jackets and
Right.
shit. Like,
A jean shirt.
yeah,
Right.
he's just that's Jay Leno.
Right.
But like that's a perfect example of a show that became very popular purely because of his passion and his interest.
Right.
I don't think he's running around thinking whether or not he's relevant anymore.
No. Yeah. No.
You know
he's
what I mean?
not.
It's like don't concentrate on things you have no control over.
Right.
And I don't know whether or not you have control over whether or not you're relevant. I think the way you have control over whether or not you do things that are interesting, and in turn, that is attractive or unattractive to people.
Right. That's a good point. Very good point. Yeah. I it's funny when I was coming down here. You guys don't have any like mountains or like
Nothing.
no mountains. You just,
Little hills.
any swamps or any like
Oh, there's a lot of water.
really?
Yeah.
I wanted to bring the Sherp down. It would have been so sick. You know the Sherp. You've seen the Sherp before, right?
Yes.
I want to bring
It's-
that thing down so bad.
Pull up a video of the Sherp. How did you get that thing?
Got it in Texas. There was this. You know what I did? I saw a Kanye West video.
He's got a bunch of them.
Yeah,
right?
he has like 30 of
His
them.
Wyoming
and his
ranch.
ranch. I was like,
Yeah.
I want one of those, but I couldn't afford that. Oh,
Look
there
at that
it is.
thing.
I love this thing.
So that
much, man.
thing will go through everything,
Literally everything. Yeah,
and this is yours.
that's mine. Yeah.
And so you bought it in Texas? Is this where you bought it? Look at that.
That's where I
fucking
was. I was in. I want
wild.
to say Corpus Christi, Texas. I don't know where I was in Texas, but it is one of the most fun vehicles. I never drive it.
Look at this driving over logs and
You name it.
shit.
It looks like a toy.
And does it go underwater or
Not under.
How
yeah.
deep can it go?
I took it in the ocean a few times. Like ocean.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. You won't get there fast, but you'll get there.
So what kind of an engine is in this thing?
It's a Kubota 4-cylinder turbo diesel. So in each wheel is a storage tank for gasoline.
What?
You can go like 1,000 miles without stopping for fuel.
What?
Yeah, so it has an onboard gas tank, and in the wheels themselves, there's also storage for inside of the wheels too.
So inside the wheels is gasoline?
Yeah, or whatever liquid you want. When I actually first got it, there was actually moonshine because they're all from Ukraine. There it is, right there. They're all from Ukraine, so they actually would go on expeditions with their buddies, and they would store whatever liquids they want in them.
How much does one of these things cost?
Nowadays, probably like $1.20 ish. Yeah.
Play that again? Keep playing it? Oh, okay. Go to the website.
Yeah.
So they sell used ones? Is that what it is? Or are they still manufacturing them?
They still make them, but the version that I have, they don't make anymore because there's no emissions controls on them. All the new ones that are imported have to have computerized emissions.
Right.
But the one that I have is very popular because it's a better form factor, and there's no emissions on it.
Huh.
Yeah.
You're getting hacked right now.
Yeah, they're getting hacked.
You're going into Ukraine.
Ukraine, yeah.
You're Macedonia, they're hacking you. #1 Sherp ATV sales.
What is the cheapest Sherp?
Try
That's
that
funny.
one, Sherp sales. Let's see that. Okay, here we go. We got a website. Sherp ATV sales, nationwide broker service, new and used.
So they
Look
only
at that,
have
150 grand.
They only have the Pro, which is the big one. That's $150. Yeah.
Look at that thing though.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's larger, huh?
Yeah, a lot larger. That's the thing. So I went down there.
Whoa, look at that thing. How
Yeah.
many people it seats?
Oh, you know what you should do? Look up the ARC, Jamie. The ARK, Sherp ARC. It fits like 20 people. It has a trailer where you could fit all your buddies in it. And what it will do is, if there's like a giant crater that you have to go over, the trailer will. That's it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I think Kanye has like 30 of them. Just cause that is awesome. The trailer floats too. That's it. Yeah.
Wow.
So what it'll do? You see the trailer at the back of it?
Yeah.
The trailer will pick up the Sherp and drop it over a large crater.
Oh my god.
So that trailer is there. You go. There you go. The ultimate. Yeah, I think it's up top there. There it is.
Whoa. So this is like
Yeah,
super sophisticated.
Yeah, you see how it was lifting up the front of it?
Oh.
It actually lifts up the Sherp to throw it over there.
That is fucking wild.
You should get one, Joe. Oh gosh,
I
they're
have
incredible.
no place for it. But if I had a place, if I had a
You
ranch,
don't. It's Texas, Joe. You don't have any room
I
out
gotta
here?
get a ranch.
Buy
One
a
day I'll
ranch.
get a ranch.
Get a ranch,
I
man.
want to get a podcast ranch. That's one of my ideas. Is to have, if I get bored with just having conversations with people sitting across a desk.
Yeah.
I want to have conversations with them, like where we do stuff.
Have them tend the
Podcast
horses.
studio can be in the back of that.
Yeah, we totally could.
Seriously,
We'd
look how
drive
sick
around
that
in
is.
one of those.
So it floats.
That is bonkers.
It does. It does. I mean, I took it in dirt, sand. It never. I think it's the most capable vehicle in the world.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's dope looking too. It's very much like an apocalypse vehicle.
I took it to Dunkin' Donuts. I got free donuts. Pretty cool.
When they saw that,
When
they
like,
gave you
"What
free
the heck?"
donuts.
They gave me free donuts. Yeah.
Well, that's a nice
Yeah.
perk.
Yeah, the rich get richer.
Rich, I gotta wrap this up.
All right.
But thank you very much for being here.
Awesome.
Always
Thank you
good to
very
talk
much.
to you.
Thank you
I
very
really
much, Joe.
appreciate your show.
This
Tell
is good
everybody, Rich Rebuilds. It's on YouTube.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you have Instagram and all that jazz?
Instagram, Richie B Kid with 2 Ds.
Oh,
And
that's right.
it. Yeah.
And Twitter.
No, I don't have Twitter.
Good for you.
Yeah, Twitter's
Stay off that toxic
What's a
fucking.
cesspool?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you,
right.
brother. Appreciate
Joe,
you.
appreciate it, man.
Bye, everybody.
Awesome.